morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Check, 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 check. Is this thing going? Can you hear me?
First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Make sure we live at 85.
Live at 85, 1212. Looks like all systems go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, April 19th, 2024. Appreciate everybody who is listening this morning over here on the radio channel as well. You can always go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the listen button. And of course, we are live on Facebook and YouTube Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9. So thank you for joining us this morning. And we always spend the first few minutes just giving each other some hellos and good mornings.
Hello.
Like as if we were living alive with one another. So
Yeah.
So how you doing, buddy? Good morning.
Man, a little tired, boss, but I'm feeling all right. Feeling good. Feeling great. How are you?
I'm good now. I had to,
Man.
had to get rid of them. Get rid of them Walgreens burritos and
yeah,
all
man.
good.
You gotta cut that. You gotta cut that out, man. Feeling 25 pounds lighter.
Man, it's like that Ice Cube song coming out feeling about 10 pounds lighter.
Man.
Mama
See, I
guys,
wasn't gonna say nothing, but yeah.
hey, you asked me how I was doing. I'm doing great.
It is what it is, man. Again, better out than in.
There you go. Yeah. Watch your diet. So,
Man, yeah, health is wealth, y'all.
Mama God gives us a good morning, First Sky fam. First one on the deck.
Hey.
What's going on, Mama God? Judy Prinzer says, "Happy Friday, beautiful family." Oh, that's beautiful saying. I love that. Thank you very much.
Yes. Family indeed.
Good morning to you. Pop says, "Good Friday morning, First Sky, and mad love from Las Vegas." Right on, Pops.
Man.
Hey, how's the weather out there? Got a little frosty over here last night. Layer of frost on everything, but it's supposed to be halfway sunny today. So we'll see. It's supposed to be cold nights coming up here in Omaha right now. Back to
Really?
frost. Yep.
Brr.
Yeah. So I'm doing that dance with the heat and the air all day and night now.
Oh man. I'm sure that's not good for your sinuses and your breathing situation.
Very true. Very true. Yep. So definitely everybody's getting hit with that sinus thing too. It's been really windy out here, so allergies popping up big time. But
Oh yeah, it's the season, man. Down here, definitely getting used to that yellow cake that you get on your car, man. That pollen is thick down here. That's something different. I'm used to in Omaha. I'm used to that cotton from the cottonwoods getting everywhere. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. But down here, it's like this really really thick, dense yellow pollen.
oof.
Yeah. If you have bad allergies, you might want to heavy on the Zyrtec.
Man, that's rough, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamika Johnson gives us some sunshine. We'll take it this morning. It's a little cold. Clarice Jackson also gives us some sunshine.
Hey.
Says good morning. Good morning to you. Mama God said cold this AM. Just walked in and burn. Yeah, it's
Man.
chilly, bro. Chilly. I had hit the heat on this morning. I got up. Oh, wait a minute. Gwen Easter gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Josh Tate said happy Friday to you all, especially Buddy and Paul. Jim Tim.
Jim Tim. If you missed it on Wednesday, yeah, had a good laugh with that one.
It's we're easily entertained. Somebody has a funny name and then we just run with it. You know what it is, man.
A little bit, but you gotta let your inner child out, man. If you can't laugh at the simple things in life, what you doing?
I want to know what if Jim Tim is a white dude. That's what I really want to know.
Come on, man.
It's the most old head black man name I can.
You think so?
My name's Jim Tim. I'm Jim Tim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of
I'm hoping
rural Nebraska.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if you got two first names, then you kind of
That's what it is. It's real Southern. It's real
yeah, it's two
Southern.
first name Billy Joe. You know what
Billy
I'm
Joe.
saying?
Yeah, but Billy Joe sound like a white dude. Jim Tim sound like black man. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my guess. But who knows, man? Bros reviews in the chat. Good morning, Mira Sanchez said temporary layoffs. He's singing Good Times, Easy Credit to rip off Good Times, scratching and surviving. Hey,
Man,
anybody see that new Good Times
I was
cartoon
just
and stuff?
I was just gonna ask. I was just gonna mention it. I have not seen it myself. Not taking the time to sit down and watch it, and I probably won't. From what I'm seeing, man, I'm not getting good. Not getting good reviews on this thing, and yeah, man, just not getting good reviews. I'm hearing it's not the best representation. Not nearly as much as even though they were struggling, they weren't financially well off. There were some things that they just didn't do.
I saw about 2 seconds of it and I was like, nah, you ain't gonna get no old heads. First of all, the whole cast of Good Times from the old days is like, nah, this ain't it.
Man, yeah. I have no relation to them people.
Pop said two first names, Paul Allen. Paul Allen. My name's
I
Paul
see. I
Allen.
wasn't gonna say.
Allen is the that's Allen is the last name.
It
ALAN is the
is.
first name. Yeah. So it's kind of two first names, but
I mean,
anyway,
I met some Allens like that, but
some with the first name with the E.
yeah, the double LE, man.
Oh, so okay, I never
Yeah, I
knew
met
that.
a couple Allens like that. But yeah. I you got Ray Allen, the basketball player. Like it's you.
Yeah, it's last. It's more. It's more of a last name than the first name. I'm thinking.
It's more than Tim. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it is cold as Jim Tim. Jim Tim. Hey, I got Black Men United. I got Willie Hamilton in the house. Good morning, King. What's going on? He said, "Good morning, fellas."
Peace.
Michelle Moreno says, "Good morning," as well as Amy Holmes. What's going on? Good morning to you, right over there
Hey,
on the man, getting down, doing the good work at the Heart Ministry Center. Appreciate y'all, all the stuff you do. Also, Rose Review says, "I'm familiar with the pollen in Atlanta." Yeah, man.
man, yeah, it's a different beast, man. It's a different beast. Actually, I got like some bees that's I guess they decided to make a home in my mailbox, and like there's a pile of pollen next to the mailbox. It looks like
Wow,
sawdust. Like it looks like sawdust.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell,
I
tell
thought,
them,
man, thought we had termites for a second. I had to look like
you better tell them to go ahead and start taking care of some of them bills while they're in there.
man.
Go ahead and handle that,
Yeah,
bees.
you're taking up about 2% of the property, so I'm gonna need yeah.
2% of the show is already done, so we're gonna go ahead and
Hey.
fire it up and get it started. I'm trying to be the segment king,
Yeah,
great
I
way.
see you taking notes.
Thanks for joining us. Welcome to a fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Get it rolling.
Hey.
Good morning. Welcome. Fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning is happening
In the
now.
morning. Yeah.
Friday, April 19th, 2024. Yeah, man, stepping on his line again.
Yeah.
Trying to get your Luther Vandross on. I'm messing you up.
Man, my new rose. You'll never find.
We don't. Look, I mean, I'll call Tim Clark up right now. Be like, look, they're trying to out Lou Rawls you on the show. You'll never find. Put Tim Clark on the case.
Hey.
We got lots to talk about today. We also got
Yeah,
some
man.
special guests coming in today. Calvin Williams is coming in for Freedom Tainment to tell us
Hey.
about what's going on this summer. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright is coming through. I see you in the chat, bro. I sent you a calendar invite. I'll go ahead and find the link and shoot it to you over the phone if you need that. He said, "Good morning. I think I need the link." Yep.
Okay.
If you didn't get the calendar invite, then I'll go ahead and send that over. Stuff going on today, though. Paul Philman is in the chat already this morning. Good morning. He's saying, please encourage people who are available to attend press conferences at 12:30 at Underwood Tower, 49th and Underwood Streets. Tenants will be talking to media and community members about the dangerous, unhealthy living conditions in their building.
Man.
They need as many community members, leaders to attend and show their support. Appreciate the call to action. I'm very surprised and happy about hearing some of these tenants speaking out. As a matter of fact, there's an article out this morning that we're going to talk about a little later on the day.
Yeah,
Where
man.
I was surprised to see some tenants like giving their names and saying what's up. You know, last time we reported on this stuff, they were a little nervous to say something for fear of retaliation, but because of the efforts of Untamed, Sherman Wells, Paul Philman, and the news and the news community.
Hmm.
They're feeling bold enough to speak up and say something. You know, that's what the Fourth Estate does, holds accountability out here. So, shout out to this progression here, and I can't wait to dig into the story a little bit. Appreciate you, Paul, for bringing that up. Also, if you're on Facebook and YouTube, do us a favor, share the show. There's going to be lots to talk about today. We want to get as many voices in as we can. So, appreciate that very much. Marlon Harrison gives us a good
Man.
morning, First Sky fam. Appreciate it. Mama Goss. Pop said from Scotland it's a first name, England is a last name. Okay.
Okay.
So my Allen, Allen. Learning more
Yeah.
things about my last name. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
You didn't know that? You didn't?
Didn't know that part.
Yeah, man.
Or didn't. Mama Guy says Jim Tim must have been a comedian in his past life. Jim Tim.
We might need to get Jim Tim on here, man. Again, he deals in. I think he's the head of Nebraska Broadcasting or something. Yeah,
I forgot he was a real dude already.
yeah. See, he probably watching somewhere like.
It's yeah. Well, if you
It's Jim Time. You're pronouncing it wrong.
James Time. If if I'll tell you this, if you ever you're guaranteed that there's going to be a character named Jim Tim in any book or film I make. So
Okay.
I'll just tell you that right now. That's
No
already-
relation. No relation.
Jim Tim already forming in my brain who he is right there.
Man.
Derek Fell said he was that he's an old dude outside the liquor store giving you that advice. Look here, youngin', look here. So yeah.
Just top me off. Top me off. I got you.
Thanks for joining us with our Friday shenanigans. It is Friday, and we're missing something today already. I can feel this.
What is it? What is it?
Look back in the chat here. It's Friday. We got no yippee yo yays. Where Leia Keister at? Hey, Keister, come on now. So I want let's anybody who knows her personally, let her know we missing her already.
Yeah,
Already
yeah.
This Friday.
Swing left Nebraska.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So shout out to Leia Keister. I was ready for the gymnastics this morning too. The
Yeah, I
yippee
see.
yay.
I see. You didn't got cleared out. You feeling good.
All right, we already said that. I hope she's well too. Yeah, I love that we're starting off with this call to action. Though this is a great thing. If you can make it down there at Underwood Towers at 12:30,
Man.
show a little show of support will help. And again, that's one of the articles we're going to talk about today. Definitely, folks speaking out about their circumstances. Man, I'm glad they feel like got some back.
Man, that's the big thing. I was gonna mention that, and that's a beautiful thing about it's kind of hard to do, but almost like you don't want to give not the type to really give ourselves credit. You know what I mean? Like we just do the work and kind of let the work speak it for itself. But I gotta say, man, I kind of feel like what we're doing and just everything that's happening is a part of that. As far as again, us having the conversation with you all, shining a light on what the people who are actually having the boots on the roots, the work that they're doing, having actually the chat chimers go down to the tower. So, we kind of, again, it's hard to give ourselves credit because that's just not what we do. But, this
I'm
conversation has been a part of that.
gonna give us credit. I'm gonna give us credit as a whole, as the black media, black news
Right.
media, which includes Sherman Wells,
Man.
who's on his show
Okay.
talking about it all the time. And also the boost to the roots part. If you're looking for what kind of vision we're looking for what we're trying to do here, this is it. We see a subject, we hear a subject, we talk to people in our neighborhoods. They say this is a subject, we make it news. We get on and discuss it with the community. The discussion leads to calls to action. Action, boots to the roots. People take action. People go down and start doing stuff. And then we're here to try to keep track of it and hold people accountable and put them on blast. And I guarantee you, The rest of the news community is also paying attention as well. That's why there's articles written in Omaha World Herald about it, and Channel 7, and all the rest of them. It starts with us. It starts with black media that includes the news, that includes the discussion, and that includes the boost to the roots for this stuff to happen. So we're one part of the collection, the collective, to make it happen. And I applaud what's going on with black media right now to do that. Terry Sanders is part of that as well. Omaha
Mhm.
Star.
Mhm.
Cheryl Weston is part of that. We're
Yeah.
not just talking about the newspaper and the TV channels. We're talking about everybody who has a podcast. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to us.
Man, thank you
I'm
for
Jim
putting it.
Tim. I approve this message.
Thank
Jim
you for
Tim,
putting it that way. Yeah,
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 that's what's up, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mama guy said I think old girl took it too far last Friday at Underwood. It had to be done. Enough is enough. Glad it's going down.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just very interesting to see the transformation, and and that's the kind of point I was trying to get at, as far as not even patting ourselves on the back, but just the seeing the transformation in the community empowerment at work. You know what I mean? It's not even a part of it is us shining light and getting things done, and really drawing attention to issues that need to be drawn attention to, and getting people to do it. And the step, like you said, to mobilize on that. But just the victory, and people in their minds feeling empowered enough to mobilize, not even people who might have something to do with it, or people who are in it. Like, again, it's very interesting to see early on people, like you said, feel like they're intimidated and can't speak up because they are going to get oppressed. Let's just call it what it is. And then we empowered these people through our support, and now they're speaking out. So again, if you can get down to Underwood Towers, thank you, Paul Philman. Let's do that. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Shout out to Sherman Wells. We'll talk to him on Monday and see about that. Tony Johnson in the chat. Good morning. Says nobody putting housing board members from North Omaha on blast. Housing board. We've been concentrating a little bit on the staff that is the ones that are going to be responsible for some of this stuff. That
Hmm.
lady that Mama Guy is talking about. There is a board though, so yeah, that might be the next thing to do is look at and see what's going on with the board and what kind of influence they have, or what they're saying or not saying, doing or not doing. Interesting stuff. He says no response to inquiries, not even response to talk to someone else, just silent. Okay. So if anybody knows what's going on and who the people on the board members, the North Omaha housing board members, I didn't even know there a. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
housing board members from North Omaha. There are some individuals. We did talk about this at one point. Yeah, so that might be the next thing to do is talk to them and see where they're at on this stuff. We'll definitely holler at Sherman Wells when we talk to him Monday and see if he talked to anybody on the board and see what's going on. So appreciate you bringing it up, Brother
Yeah.
Johnson.
I know
Yeah,
brother Sally Saka, who is a part of OHA. I don't know if he's on the board, or
yeah,
if he's a part of the staff. But he's familiar with the show. He knows the conversations we've been having. He knows what's going on. There are officials with OHA who are aware of what's going on, despite them turning a blind eye to what the real issue is. So yeah.
yep. We'll talk about it and more. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and go through some of the things we're going to talk about today before we get to our first guest. Buddy, what's the rundown for the day?
Yeah, definitely going to talk about thanks for the call to action as far as the Underwood situation. Didn't know about that. But there are more articles coming out about the conditions, more news about what's really going on and what people are really dealing with, having to live with in the tower. So we'll definitely be talking about that, black mold, leaking pipes, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. Also looking at what's going on with the Gene Leahy Mall situation. It looks like more attention, more news, more conversation is coming out of that. Seems like the police and Mecca, which is again the security force, the private security force that is in charge with keeping the park safe. They're all teaming up and speaking out, and actually the Omaha Police Union has something to say. I'm pretty sure we won't be surprised by the tone of their comments. Thank you, Miss Erica Felt, for putting that on Friends of First Sky. So we'll try to get into that. Also, a lot of you have been calling about this. The Nebraska, or actually Flatwater Free Press, just dropped an article diving into what's going on with Brother Gerald Coon. So we'll try to give some details about that situation. Again, I know a lot of chat chimers were kind of chiming up and asking us questions about it. And again, we hadn't really seen any updates, but again, Flatwater Free Press just released an article talking about some of the turmoil that's coming from that situation. So we'll dive into that. And then also speaking of turmoil, there's been some issues with the end of the legislative sessions. It seems like things haven't gone as smoothly as planned, and we've kind of been feeling like this was a possibility. But now we're seeing that again, it's almost an inevitability at this point as far as a special session coming from Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen. Of course, there's a lot of things that could possibly be changing with amendments, and of course, still trying to figure out this whole tax situation. So yeah, more conversation, more time for our senators. So we're looking forward to speaking to them on Monday. And also, speaking of the senators, we do have some guests. A brother Anthony Rogers Wright is coming on a little later on the show to talk to us about some bills and to clarify some things that he's seeing that we might not be getting fully right. Which is okay. We don't always have all the answers, and that's why we call y'all our co-hosts, because we definitely appreciate you coming through and having the conversation with us. So again, looking forward to speaking to brother Anthony Rogers Wright. And then, as Paul mentioned a little later or early on in the show, we will be having brother Calvin Williams coming up in a little bit, talking about the Freedom Tainment event that's going down this summer. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I think Joe's coming through, so
Come
yeah,
on.
make sure you're there too, man. It's gonna be a good time. But in the meantime, between time, Paul B,
Yo, yo.
what's the word, man?
Man, just looking through the chat here. Appreciate everybody that's joined in on the chat this morning. Looks like it's going to be a lively day.
Yeah.
Also, Tony Johnson is naming some of the people. Tony Velland, Cammie Watkins. I didn't know Cammie Watkins is on there. And Danielle Goodwin is also on that board. So we
Mm.
definitely that's a good opportunity to reach out to them and see what they can contribute to the conversation here. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. C. Larkin in the chat as well. I did get your message, kind of glanced over. I didn't get a chance to respond to you, but I appreciate you sending it. She says Hassani and Ty Lee have been advocating for his father, Henry Lee, for 6 months at Underwood Tower. They deserve some credit for raising awareness. Appreciate
There
that.
you go.
Love to have them on and talk about it too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, more to the story. That's what's up.
And actually, to that point, there has been a few times throughout our conversation where, people have pointed out the fact that, we've been talking about what's going on at the towers, and it seemed like there was a change in motion, some momentum, a
Yeah.
momentum shift when the Underwood Towers started getting involved, and people started really chiming up about the Underwood Towers.
Mhm.
So yeah, if that was Hassani and Ty Lee who's kind of behind that, big shout out to them. Definitely
Yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff.
Like I said, this is a collective. I think as a collective, we've been able to raise awareness in a way that we haven't before. We were talking about other towers and problems,
Right.
even back in the Mine and Soul days.
Right.
Benson Tower and some other spots. Is like, and they sometimes get some press, but this is a little bit unprecedented. I feel like as far as like how much attention this is really getting. What people are doing. And shout out to people like Paul Filman that are just like going out there with a sign and sitting there, like raise some awareness here on what's going on. So. Appreciate that. Heather Williams says, "Good morning, everyone." Appreciate you, Heather, for coming on in. Mama God said, "It's all broke. Efforts need to be on changes from new laws that the senators pushed during this session."
Yeah. And
Nice segue to some of that information as well.
yeah, and those are supposed to be coming down the pipe. We definitely should see if who was right on our over under as far as what Governor Pillen vetoed and what he didn't veto and what he signed and didn't sign. Kind of seeing eager to see what happens with Senator McKinney's OHA bill.
Yeah, most def. Yeah. I cannot wait to speak to them, man. I don't know if you guys saw the legislature last week, but it was, Justin Wayne. This was his last hurrah here on this legislature, and so he gave a speech. Terrell McKinney the day before or the session before gave a speech that was directed towards him as well, just thanking him. We definitely got some clips on that, and I can't wait to speak to the senators about their time there, what was going on, the last minute dramas that's going on right now. Might have a special session. Lots going on, but we sure did learn a lot from this season and previous seasons on just what can happen here. Like I said, to me, it's that thing I have in my mind about the collective, because yeah, we can expose it, we can bring it out, we can talk to the community about it, we can have boots to the roots people in the trenches fighting for it. We also got to have the legislators changing laws for it and everything too. It's all in the same gang, like we used to say out in LA. So it's got to be a situation where everybody contributes and
Yeah,
fix
man.
it. It's all broken. We need multiple mechanics.
Yeah.
So
Got to be the change you like to see. So a big shout out to all of you who are out there doing that. And actually, speaking of that, kind of want to remind the people about some opportunity to change what's going on with the land bank. Again, shout out to people who have taken advantage of that situation, because that's something we've been talking about for quite some time. That's also seeming broke. It just seems like it hasn't been working the way that we all envisioned it would work, or should work, could work. And now it looks like there are being some efforts putting towards making those changes, and we all have opportunity to kind of be vocal, be present, be impactful in that change. So
Yeah.
again, big shout out to the land bank. If you missed those meetings, I think there will be other opportunities, and I think you can still reach out and email, and kind of let your stance known on how they handle some of this land. But there's also a survey going out if you're interested in, and also kind of dictating what is done. There's about 20 or so lots that the Omaha Land Bank is working on making available, making it construction ready, or as they call it, shovel ready, which can cost some money, man. There's some costs associated with that as far as getting that land prepared. So again, 20 lots are being made available for shovel ready projects. So again, if you're somebody who is interested in buying land, becoming a landowner, we're not talking about acres and acres and acres. Just start off with a lot, an empty lot that you can do something with, even if you don't have plans on building a house. These communities man, these communities can need some can use some community gardens, can use some green space, can use space where a community can come together and talk, and just have conversations, and just enjoy nature, because that also has benefits. So again, if you're somebody who's interested in transforming your community, there's a survey going out from the Omaha Land Bank. I think my man Paul B is looking for that link for you. So yeah, as soon as we find it, we'll drop that in the chat, and make sure that again you fill out that survey. And yeah, more information coming up. We are in conversation with the Omaha Land Bank, looking to get some of their officials on. So yeah, there's a opportunity for that.
And shout out to them for not just being open to make some changes, but also being reaching out to the public in order to show them what is actually going on. Because a lot of times we have misperceptions about what's happening.
Man,
So them showing their process and letting us know what's happening gives us a better idea what's going on, and then also them being open to take suggestions on that process. It's all you can really ask from an organization. So shout out to them for that. I will get this at some point, but
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Oh, in the meantime, between time, we do have guests coming up here in a second. So let's go ahead and dive into some news, man. Let's go ahead and dive into some
Yeah.
conversations with some things. Again, big shout out to all of you chat chimers for continuing to keep us on top of things that's going on out there in the Omaha area, and the greater metro. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. And definitely let us know how you're feeling about this next topic of talking about the Omaha police. We'll start it off there. A conversation we've been having here on the show over the weekend. This last weekend, there was some situations, and actually, as the week has gone on, I'm kind of getting an idea of just how kind of hectic things were over the weekend. Like you heard of a fight, and you think maybe one or two people, or maybe even five people, small group. But again, as the news is rolling out, apparently there was about 150 or so young folk out there fighting over the weekend. Several
Hmm.
incidences broke out. Several incidents happened, and yeah, there's been a reaction that we should be made aware of, especially if you have young folk, grandchildren, children that you have. Go out there, and especially if you're a parent who drops them off, and tries to give them the trust and leeway to do what it is that they have to do. But of course, as Paul said, when you have young folk coming together, there's going to be some foolishness. There's going to be some things happening. But again, the Omaha police are responding, and we should be made aware of exactly how they're responding. Actually, again, big shout out to Miss Erica Felt dropping this comment from Omaha Scanner that was apparently on Facebook during the weekend following this event. And it says, last night, we reported on a series of fights at Jean Leahy Mall involving groups of unaccompanied juveniles. Less than 2 hours after our initial post, another fight at the park broke out involving around 50 minors. During this melee, a good Samaritan was attacked and assaulted. A 13-year-old was quote unquote arrested for assault and providing false information, then immediately released on the spot to a guardian. Just a few hours later, the same young individual was caught after a car chase in a stolen vehicle. Two teenagers attempted to flee on foot, but were apprehended following a brief pursuit. Once again, the 13-year-old was detained and subsequently released into the custody of his guardian. Two victims within hours of each other involving a 13-year-old suspect. Again, this is from the Omaha Scanner. It says we must address the issue of repeat juvenile offenses that currently face little to no consequences. We need change. Call your state senator, county commissioners, city council members, and demand action. Youth violence is out of control in Omaha. Again, Omaha Scanner. So
Hmm.
again, I presented the question here on the show earlier this week on Monday, as far as what is it for our young people to do? What can be done to make sure, because young folk, they need somewhere, like you said, Paul, that's not school, that's not community programs, that's they just need somewhere to hang out and be kids and just be free and kind of develop those social skills. Um, and that's needed. That's definitely needed. But again, I think needs to be some kind of structure there. Even still, there needs to be something. But who's going to put that structure in place? And what will be the intent of that structure? Again, there is a response, and the Omaha Police actually has responded with saying that they will ramp up police, and also apparently will be using drones at these parks now for the safety individuals. This is coming from Omaha World Herald. Police Chief Bonacci, or not Chief, but Sergeant Bonacci, also Mecca, who is a private security force that enforces and secures the parks and other areas for its the Metro Air Entertainment Commissions, or excuse me, Metro Entertainment and Convention Authority. There we go. Which oversees the riverfront park. So again, Luminarium area, the new Conagra area that they just are redoing. Also, Omaha 360 is a part of this conversation as well. So again,
Mm.
there will be a ramping up of law enforcement as well as drones in the operation at the park to be able to monitor activity. But is more policing really the answer?
Like Rome's review says, love my people who are cops, but not a fan of the profession.
Man,
Hear that? Um, yeah, but I don't really see any solutions to any of this. I think it's always going to be a situation, even if you have programs, places, things to do. Gene Leahy Mall was built for people to go hang out
right.
in that very way. And anytime a kid's gonna get together and their parents are not involved, then the kids are gonna wild out. It's it, I almost had a little smile on my face when I heard it. Bro went back to the fight, jumped into a stolen car, took off. You know
No
what I'm saying?
man. Oh man.
Like, my first thought was he was wilding out,
He's
and
having a
that
good
kind of,
night.
yeah, that kind of stuff is gonna happen. I mean, I don't know how good of a night he was having, but
Right.
he was definitely wilding out, which kids are gonna do. So
Hmm.
there's really no choice but to have presence and drones and whatever they have at their disposal to try to break up big
Tanks.
big groups of people fighting and so on. And sounds like they are releasing people to their guardians and parents. But is the policing the solution? I don't know if it's the solution. It's probably not the solution. Be it your family making sure that you as a child is acting right is the best solution, is
Yeah.
the really only solution. But since that doesn't happen all the time, there is going to have to be some policing. Um, and I kind of am leaning towards this whole kind of crowd control
Hmm.
side of things.
Hmm.
And I say that I used to work security in California for a number of years, for a decade. And there's security and security guards, and then there's crowd control. So they're not the same situation. You can be a part. You can be unarmed and be in the crowd, and you can be dispersing crowds, and you can be directing crowds, and you can be just making sure that things are happening. Something pops off in a pocket, then you call an armed guard or an armed police person. So I'm kind of anxious to see, with all the entities that are present there. It's not just the police we're talking about. We're talking about this Mecca group, and now we're also talking about 360. So
Hmm.
this is the first time I've heard about Omaha 360 being a part of any of that kind of stuff. Were they out on Boost to the Roots on that, or was this what's their part? So I kind of like to see how the whole team is trying to approach um, making sure that kids are safe when they're hanging out in places like that. But we kind of have no choice. Kids are gonna do that, and
Hmm.
there's got to be some authority that helps keep everybody safe when they do it.
Right. Right. And yeah, I do wonder what it says. The article says representatives from Omaha 360. I know Brother Leo Lewis was down there, so I don't know if he was there as a part of those representatives for Omaha
Mm.
360, or if he was just outside, as he usually is.
Mhm.
So yeah, I am kind of curious as far as what exactly is the Omaha 360. part of it. Who from Omaha 360 was down there,
Right.
because that's kind of supposed to be our community representative. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
supposed to be. I mean, that's kind of how I'm viewing it. Again, Omaha 360 is community individuals working with police and working with things that's kind of a community liaison. So I do
Sure.
wonder who that was.
Let me
Um,
let me
go
jump
ahead.
into the chat real quick. Tony Johnson is saying that too. Community needs to create the solutions by talking with youth. Leave it to the city, and now they are talking about drones and more police. Reminds you of a time city used firefighters to break up protests.
Hmm.
Also, does
Hmm.
does Empowerment Network really have a pulse on what youth want or need? I think they have some. I think they have some reach, some pulse. They have
Yeah.
some idea. I think that not one organization is going to solve it all. So I'm anxious to see what their part,
Well, that's
what the
the
360
thing.
part is. Sure.
The apartment network isn't just one
You
organization. That's the interesting part. Yeah.
right.
Hello.
It's a network. Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out
Oh.
there.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I think of like Sister Tamika Meese in the North Omaha Community Partnership. They're definitely in right and direct involvement, not just with youth, but families. Like they're helping families in situations. So, and that's what we really talk about. It's not even about the youth. It's about the family and supporting the family to make sure that the youth, gets as much support as they need from the family. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
when I think of Empowerment Network, I think of organizations like that. But exactly what role or what exactly, what are the details? It's one thing
Yeah.
to just say Empowerment Network, Omaha
Yeah.
360.
How are they working with the police and stuff? Right.
Right, 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 right.
In the chat, real quick, Ron's review says the mall is full out of towners. They
Mm,
could be easily identified chaperones, guys that could act as such, and security eyewitnesses. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like a combination of things. Anthony Rogers Wright says, "Here come the police state, and next the call for more funding for policing instead of investment in our youth. And there are far too many black folk who advocate for more policing." Just like when far too many black people supported the Dems party's crime bill that continues to harm our people and communities.
mm.
Tony Johnson says civil rights even broken up by spraying water and police dogs. Not a good memory for some of us, for sure. I don't sound like they're going that far yet, but they, what's the next steps? Miss Erica
Yeah.
Phelps says children from the opposite side of town always get dropped off at shopping centers, malls, and their choice of parks out west. They're not told to raise their children. They have multiple choices for kids. True. Um, Black Dynamite's giving a top of the morning. Good morning. He says,
Sheesh, yeah.
Miss Erica Phelps says the news had said 360 started talking to the kids, and then the fights broke deeper.
Mm.
Okay. Wanda Lewis says Mecca pays for security at that park. So
Yep.
Mecca is not the security force. It's a organization that pays for security there. Private security. Right. She says, Wanda Lewis says they are trying to advocate for no youth at the park without being accommodated by parents.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, and that's what this article definitely states, and also the whole out of town part. That's an interesting comment from Mayor Sanchez. But yeah, and I do wonder what percentage of people there are from out of town. But yeah, they're saying whether you are from out of town, or whether you live in the city, or you're a juvenile that's just looking for a good time to hang out with friends, they want to make sure that the park is safe for everybody to come to. So I don't think it's quite gotten to a situation where they're like no kids allowed at the park. They do want youth there, and they don't actually don't seem like they're making it like it's all youth type of situation. I guess you can kind of read between the lines, or take from this what you will. But again, individuals from Mecca, actually, Katie Bassett, who's the vice president of Mecca, she says it's a small percentage of bad actors that are creating some of these incidents that we really want to get in front of and intervene to make sure it continues to be a space that people want to come to. So again, she says also that the response and impact of the Gene Leahy Mall and other riverfront parks like the Luminarium was going on, in those areas have been overwhelmingly positive. So it seems like again, they this is something they want to continue. They want to have even youth, families, individuals come to, and they actually aren't even getting to the point of a curfew. Even they said they're not that far right now. They're just at the point of ramping up security and using technology like drones and stuff like that. Which I mean, that's understandable. But I will say caution because this could be used for political things, as you see with the whole Omaha scanner conversation. There, that whole comment was a call to action to reach out to your elected officials, because again, there are, I think, LB 640, I want to say, if you remember, is the bill to detain 9-year-olds, to make 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds felons. That's what this is about. That's at least what this is going to be used, for, as far as a talking point in that conversation, which that is taking it a little too far.
In the chat, real quick, the Wanda Lewis says they're trying to advocate for no youth at the park without being accommodated by parents, which we talked about. Is a I feel like I'm nervous about that. I also feel like good luck. Tony Johnson says it is a network of programs that are struggling to engage with high school age youth. Everybody focusing on younger, which is not wrong, but young adults left out of everything. And I
Mm.
was thinking about that at that age group, that 16, 17-year-old age group is one of the ones that's going to go. They're seeking out their freedom at that point, and they're going to go
Hmm.
places like that. And so good luck having your 16-year-old bring their parent down to the Gene Leahy Mall for them to come hang out. It's good luck on that. Juana
Right.
Lewis says, my thoughts are if they have time to verify IDs, then they shouldn't have a problem keeping under control, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, if they're stopping folks and getting IDs from everybody, then they probably have a hand on what's going on there. They should have one anyway if they're doing it that granular. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Miss Erica Phil says if you get on Nextdoor app, you'll see the West kids do damage to parks and threaten younger children every week. But this isn't the conversation the news is having.
Mm.
That's an interesting thought.
It is.
If they are doing it though, I don't. It's not. It's not. How many did you say was out there? There was 150 kids
Yeah,
out
it's 150 kids,
there.
150, 150 youth
Yeah.
getting into it out there.
I
So
can see why this is a story, but to your point, it should be the other stuff should be a story too, for sure. This is another example of them, being like we got to be extra policey around here with our
yeah.
with the all these black kids coming downtown, all that kind of mess.
Right. And I'm sure if this was Miller Park, it will also be a different conversation. Like, stuff is fights all the time in Miller Park.
It's
But
in all parks.
Right. But
Yeah,
again, this is Gene Leahy Mall, Omaha's new shiny gem, in the middle of Tiff Alley, next to the Capitol District and the riverfront. Like this is, there's a lot of city investment going into this. So, there's a bottom line tied to it. There's
yeah.
there's the propaganda, surrounding this whole thing. You need the good look.
And I appreciate what that woman said that you just quoted, saying it's overwhelmingly positive what's going on down there. It really is.
Hmm.
You don't always see incidents happening, but anywhere you're gonna be where there's hundreds and thousands of people, sometimes there's 1,000 people around the downtown area. Something's gonna pop off. It's just is what it is. Do we need a over policing situation? Probably not.
Probably not.
Other solutions hopefully will work. Curfew is one of them. Miss Erica Fell says, I'm not against a curfew. They're children. Tony Johnson says, Omaha making sure folks messing up tourism dollars, right?
Right,
Putting
right.
extra time into that. Wanda Lewis says the park has more security than any other park in the city. There you go. Heather Williams says there were a bunch of kids down there last night. They weren't all fighting. When the fights broke out, quite a few of them were trying to get out of the way. Yes,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what it is. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Uh, Rick Fulton is in the chat calling people names again. Told you I don't appreciate that. This is your second time. I'm gonna ask you not to do that, and the third time we'll do something about it. So appreciate you coming in and giving comments, but you gotta leave that language alone, bro. I implore you to do that, please. Miss Erica Fell says first it was 50, now it was 150. Yeah. The news grew that a bunch of people jumped in after they got talked to. These kids got talked to. Apparently, they lied. They lied about what happened. They got released, and then they went back, and some of them got into some more fights, and it kind of grew.
Yep.
Like I said, crowd control, man. That's there's an arm of security that just handles breaking stuff like that up before it gets out of control. So, I hope there's several solutions they look at for that. I hope there's several solutions.
So
Here's Rick Fulton right here saying Mecca will figure out their downtown park mess. The private sector rules. It is a private entity that employs private um, security. So it's
mhm.
a private security team. How do they work with the police? I'd like to understand that part too. And again, what does 360 have to do with this at all? So we'll see. Wanda Lewis says it's a headline story because Mecca wants it to be. They want to send them. Maybe they want to send a message out saying, this is happening, and we're gonna do what we can do to stop it, and this is what we did to stop it, or whatever. Ms. Hirkenfeld says, "I'm just concerned about what group of children will be focused on as bad actors." Yep, I
Yeah,
think that's
good
where we're
point.
coming from with it. Black Dynamite says nobody says anything when the CWS fans get hammered and end up fighting in the streets. I'm just saying,
Oh yeah.
it's not a big article there on it. Yeah, so appreciate everybody's comments on this. We're coming up to a situation where we're coming up to a time frame where we got our special guest coming on. He's waiting in the wings here, so I want to kind of wrap this up. But I appreciate everybody's comments here. C. Larkin says the issue that age group not having anything targeted to them has been going on since Peony Park and skating rinks closing.
So
Interesting.
and that's kind of my point. That's kind of my point. And I think last time I mentioned programs and having things for them to do, and I think that was taken as having like organized community nonprofit programs, and that's not necessarily what I meant. I meant like having it structured. Like there's one thing to have the park open and have security just there standing waiting for something to happen, and it's another thing that have the park open and have a city sponsored DJ, somebody that's actually getting paid a couple $100 from the city to DJ, and actually having gates up, actually having field games, actually having people to things for them to do. So it's not just open and they're just, the kids are standing out there on social media doing whatever. Like there's actually things for them to do. Like there's somebody there
Yeah, I don't know,
managing the
man.
skating rink.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think. I mean, you build a space. You got to let. I like the idea of people coming and do figuring out their own things to do. There's stuff out there all the time. There's a stage out there, so they do have DJs sometimes. They do have live bands. There's activities there, but I don't think every activity needs to be catered. Needs to be structured for. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it all has to be curated. I think a place like Gene Leahy Mall is a place for you to go and explore and hang out and come up with your own stuff and do what you want and barbecue and you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that's the solution. I think the solution has to do with um, doing the best you can with crowd control, um, more support for families so that they can make sure that their kids aren't out here wilding. The you know what I'm saying? Like it's to me there's a lot to it. There probably should be a curfew. There needs to be some surveillance. There needs to be whatever. But I also don't think that every action that happens that needs to be curated. Everything that goes on needs to be curated so that kids don't get into fights. They can be at a DJ concert with gated in and still get in a fight. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more to talk about here, a bigger solution. And I'd like to jump out of this real quick and get to our special guest who actually has some experience with this since he is a promoter who has to deal with security and what to do with folks and stuff like that all the time. So let's go ahead and bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. Calvin Williams in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All
Right
right.
on, man. We
All
can
right.
hear you too. Appreciate you coming through. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's our busy season over here, man. So we just trying to, buckle everything down and, like you said, make sure people, what we're doing is keeping people safe
Yeah.
and that people are coming out and enjoying themselves and that we impacting the people that we supposed to serve. So
Well,
Yeah.
we gonna jump into it, man, because you got a lot going on. We talk about if you guys don't know the chat doesn't know Calvin Williams is head of Freedom Tainment, and they put on the Freedom Festivals every year. This year, there's a big one coming that's gonna be featuring Joe. Man, this is gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Case special guest Case Angeline Timeless. But this is just one arm and one aspect of that kind of freedom fest that you got going on there. You always have so many programs, so many daytime things for kids, and then the nighttime concert and so on and so forth. So first of all, before we jump into all that, because there's a lot, just want to check in with you. You said it's your busy season. How you holding up self care wise? You know what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah,
How's your
I mean,
family doing?
we got people because like you said, we roll actually, we really roll two programs at one time because we do have our other program is down at the Gene Leahy Mall, You know,
Oh
that's
yeah.
park. It's
Okay.
called
Okay.
Level Up. You know, it's a housing and workforce development program. You know, this is our third
Wow.
year doing it. Uh, it's been really successful. We last year we had free haircuts and dance teams and just other stuff for people to engage with their families, but also we had resources about employment and housing.
And this is
Man.
this happens around the same time that the concert happens.
Now this happens Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
It's August 31st this year.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do remember him kind of talking about that and us talking about housing and just the wealth of information that people were getting at these events. So yeah, big shout out to you. And I'm just kind of curious, like, the fact that you have that at Gene Lake Hill Mall is interesting because that's exactly what we're talking about. And what I'm thinking of is the number of people, just the turnout that you have at your events, and I'm never really hearing about a lot of issues. It always seems like a very positive, very uplifting. A lot of people coming out and engaging in the activities that you have set up. And I'm kind of curious, like, what is your mindset when you're planning this thing? Like, how what is your mindset? Like, how do I get people to come out, be safe, do what the intention of this event is, and go home? Like, what's on your mind with
Well,
that?
that's kind of like when I was listening to y'all talk about the mall earlier, it kind of surprised me a little bit because we had a concert there that night too.
The same
That
night.
same night.
Yeah, we had Jacquees and Carl Thomas. That was the first time that we kind of got invited down. Mecca let me do the concert on the mall when it opened up, and it was. I mean, everybody enjoyed themselves. We had about 4,000 people come down there, and like you said, it was kids everywhere and stuff. But I mean,
4,000 people. Wow.
we didn't have no incidents.
And just to make that statement, you've had several concerts where you've had hundreds of people and thousands of people, and you haven't had any incidents yet in all the years you've been doing concerts, right?
Because we have about 10,000 people that come to the festival every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't had no incidents, but I think that just goes to show that it's a need for it, and the people in North Omaha, they really enjoy coming to it, because we try to touch all levels, from your grandparents to your kids to to the adults. And like you said, this year we having something for the young adults, because our Labor Day concert is going to be Jacquees, Days Loaf, and Vito the Singer.
Oh wow. Oh man.
Okay.
So
You got way more going on than I even thought. I thought I did my little research here, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
concert I didn't hear about.
Yeah, putting it together.
and
And
yeah, that's going to be August 31st.
Okay.
And see, the thing with the mall is, I just think that they got to figure out a way to kind of control it a little bit to where people will be not feeling like they not wanted. Just like we not having the concert there this year because when we did the concert we didn't have no incidents, but they didn't like the language, a lot of the language that the customers were using around that time.
Right.
But I mean, it's hard for you. You can't really control what people say or nothing. My thing is, as long as nobody's putting their hands on nobody, and and people are just enjoying themselves, that's like you said, that's a great outcome.
Right.
Right.
I can see them wanting the Gene Lake Mall to be a family friendly situation, so they might trip on a little bit of events that don't feel too family friendly with language and so on. I can see them, having a little issue with that. But what were some of the other things that was there anything else that they did? As far as like the security,
Even though
security. Hold on, the
excuse me.
security team that was there to help crowd control your event. Did they feel oppressive? Did they bring police out there to feel oppressive to you? Like, what else did they do?
No, I mean, like people said, they do have their own security. But
Right.
what I did to make people feel more secure and stuff is, I had off-duty police officers. Then I hired contract security. Because you just want to make sure people know that they got that presence and it's there, because even though you got contract security, they can't arrest nobody.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, I always try to work with the Omaha Police Department to let them know ahead of time. This is what I'm doing. You know, what concerns do you have? You know, how can we make everybody feel comfortable? You know, that's what I think that's another reason why our events go so well is because, you know, I go and talk to the precinct captain, you know, let him know what's going on, you know, keep the lieutenant in the loop. And then,
Okay.
you know, try to keep, you know, the EMTs and all that on board just to make sure that people, you know, feel safe.
Yeah,
Man,
first aid on deck and everything.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm kind of curious. Who are some of the security teams that you trust and you go to? You know who you know
Well,
who has your service?
I use Lionsgate and I
Okay,
use Pickens Security are the two security companies because obviously when we do an event, you know, we need a lot of people. So most of
right.
the time we end up using two security companies,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then we hire the EMTs and the Omaha police officers, you know, off duty officers. And that just
In
seems like that's enough security. We have about 30 security guys
Okay,
every time we do something, and then we have about 8 off-duty police officers and two EMTs. So I mean, we got plenty of security. And then during the day of the festival, you know, the police, you know, they sponsor the bikes and the kids zone. So a lot of police is there. They just not in uniform because I asked them just to come, you know, like a regular person, you know, and they
yeah,
bring their families now and their kids. So I mean, it's ended up,
man,
like I said, really working out for everybody, you know.
sound like
man.
you. Go ahead.
I just going compliment on that. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's a great approach to have. To say we want police out there, but we want you out there in your unofficial capacity. That kind of I think that can kind of change their mentality. If you don't got the bulletproof vest on and the Batman utility belt, you out there with your family, then you might still be vigilant, still be on high alert, but have a different type of mentality. You're not on Batman vigilante status. You protecting, actually protecting and serving, not just a force out there.
Well,
Yeah.
and also too, you got to remember that, man, for real, the police. I used to kind of look at the police a little weird too, but man, it's a hard job for real.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
also, you know, it's a lot of police that look just like me. You know, they regular people. You know, they got
Hmm.
kids and stuff. So you just got to kind of, I think it's how you approach it and talk to them and say, look, man, you know, we want the police there that kind of look like us so they can understand, you know, the mentality of people like us and also, you know, they more lenient to talk to some, you know, try to talk out and
Hmm.
de-escalate the situation other than, you know, trying to
Mm.
go the extra mile, you know, to put, you know, people in you know, in jail because a lot of people at our events could have been arrested a few times, but the police luckily can just talk to them, you know, and we can, you know, make the situation go away just like that. And then it makes everybody happy because don't nobody got to do no paperwork and then don't
Right.
nobody got to go to jail.
Yeah,
So
that's what it's about. Go ahead,
Uh,
bro.
yeah, Wanda Luce in the chat said that was a great concert. Josh Jones is a great MC. She said my daughter was one of the artists that opened for Jacques in security was tight.
Nice.
So a testament to the security and testament to the show. Every show that I've been to that you put on too, even though you have 30 or more, security present, doesn't feel oppressive. And I'm understanding why now. It seems like you had some conversations with them before. You asked for police officers and stuff that look like us. It sounds like you have you're one of those kind of concert promoters that have briefings with your security and say this is the vibe we want. I remember working security in California for many years, and there was a big difference between promoters that were like, "Don't let nothing happen here," and then other promoters that were like, "This is the vibe we trying to create here," and I work closely with you guys on trying to do it. Sounds like you were that kind of promoter, and that's why you having such success with what's going on there, and no incidents with thousands and you got thousands of people under your belt now. No incidents.
I just believe that security should be there to support, you know, support everything in case an incident happened, you know. And
Just like
like I
the
said,
EMT.
you just want the presence there because a lot of people they just want to go out and have a good time for real. You
Right.
know, you might meet one or two people. They might get intoxicated or you know might be having a bad day. But I tell everybody that we're in the business of helping people. So sometimes, these people gonna be intoxicated. So, please just try to talk to everybody and show everybody respect. And it just works.
There you
You
go.
you do pat downs and stuff like that too to enter.
Oh yeah, we got wands. We wand everybody now, because they changed the gun laws, and so we have signs
Right.
that let people know that they can't bring weapons, into the facility or to the property when at least we renting it out.
Right.
And if anybody comes with any weapons or guns, even if you pay for a ticket, you can't come in because we can't trust you not to take it back to your car, and then try to come back in. So
Right.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
But yes, again, you seems like you're doing it the right way, taking the right precautions, and again, thousands of people coming out to these events. Hopefully, we can get more to support. I did want to pivot a little bit. Did you have something else, Paul? Or?
Go ahead. I'm gonna see if your pivot is the same as my pivot.
Well, more so just wanted to ask, like, just as far as the greater conversation of what it is for youth to do. Like, you're in the business of putting together these events. From your perspective, I know a few people in the chat have mentioned some events and just times back in the day where there were more things for children to do, for youth, 13, 14, 15, 16, to do. From from what you're seeing now, are there any events that you want to shout out? Is there any other things, what is there for our youth to do?
uh
Constructive,
I mean,
to
to
get out and
be
still have
honest
time.
with you, if you want me to really be honest with you, I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard to do stuff for young people because it's so expensive now. Insurance be like 40,000, and because the insurance done went up on us for the festival.
Right.
And
Okay.
you got to remember these young artists now since COVID happened, man, everybody charging like double, triple the price of what they used to get. So now you might get a young artist, he might have one song, he want $30,000. And it's just hard for you. And then that's on top of renting space, getting security, getting the insurance, which is gonna probably cost you more than what you pay for the artist.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we pivoted. We want to get young people involved, but we want to get them involved in like education, resources, but also add a little entertainment about it. But we trying to set people up for the next level, because every time I go to a lot of these meetings, and I think I told you this before, Paul, it just be like the same people, man. And it kind of just, I talked about it this Saturday at a housing meeting, because if you ever went to some of those meetings that Willie and them do, especially the big one, the state of North Omaha, where they tell all the facts about what's going on and about how, like, this year, what surprised me was people losing their houses. That's what made me really start talking to people about home ownership. I went there, and in North Omaha, they said 2,000 people lost their houses.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, man, that was kind of crazy, because you got people that I don't think they understand, how to get property. They don't understand the equity of how you can pass it on, So I just want to reach younger people, man, and try to, help them and help with their lives, to go to the next level in life.
Man,
So
that's beautiful.
So let me jump in here with that. I know me and you have had conversations about the kind of concerts you put on, and we have a lot of talk about demographics, and you cater the big concerts that you have. You kind of cater to the older demographic, little bit older. Around the people that were listening to music around the 2000s, the 2000. You know what I'm saying? And that has a lot to do with how smooth the shows go, how well the shows are attended, and so on and so forth. And then I see that you make a pivot when it comes to young folks. This is the reason why you have the daytime activities and the other things that you have throughout the year for the youth as well. That's more oriented towards families than just entertainment for kids to come and so on and so forth. So I appreciate that you're doing that. What I wanted to do was get into knowing that we got limited time here to have you talk about it. There's something huge here that we haven't really discussed, and that's your effect on the community and the city, and how the tourism of the city is recognizing you, and the success that you've had, and the wins that you've had right now because of the work that you've been doing ever since we started with Donnell with you way back in the day. So
that's what set it off.
That's what set it off, right?
Man, that's beautiful.
So from there to here, now you got entities that are saying you're an integral part in bringing tourism to Omaha, and
Oh yeah, man. Since I seen somebody in the chat and basically, I think I told you this before. We get most of our money now from tourism because I market Juneteenth as a tourism event.
oh wow,
We have about 3,000 people that come to the festival every year from outside the state.
wow,
And we put about $205,000 back into the North Omaha economy every time we got a festival.
that's what I'm talking about.
Because we creating jobs, we create about 118 jobs, when we do the festival. And I try to pay people that live in North Omaha that look like me. And I mean, I think that's another reason why it's successful too, because most of the services we use are services of people that people know. So it's more like a family affair, really, because everybody in Omaha really cousins. So
yeah, pretty much.
That's real.
So it works. And I think people see the effort that we try to do over here of really giving back. Like this year we're giving away washer and dryer sets. Giving away laptops, bicycles. Last year we gave away the car. We're giving a car away at Level Up this year. We just try to do things that kind of impact families and people that you might know. A lot of people we know in North Omaha, we know that they need assistance and they're not going to really help, ask for it. But I think Juneteenth Festival is good too, because I think that people are really proud of it. I'm proud of how well that it's done over these years, and then it helped me spur to another program that people are loving, and that's the Level Up, and that's really just a job fair. But we be having like 1,400. Last year we had 2,000 people come to it.
Man,
and
Tell us about that, man. Because like I said, this is the reason why we having you on, because you got so many programs. I feel like we need to have you on several times to talk about all of them. We could spend the whole time talking about the Joe concert, but that's not the only thing you got going on. So explain to people what Level Up is.
The concert part is just really to, like I say, it's in levels. During the day, you bring your grandparents, so they can get free health services. You bring your kids so you can tire them out. You lead a parade. You come and get you a meal, a free meal. You don't have to go home after the parade. You could come up to Malcolm X. It's going to be plenty of stuff for your kids to do. They can get some cotton candy, face painting, all the other stuff, and then later that night, if you got you a babysitter, you can come back and you can, enjoy yourself, see a concert. This year, we're going to have a fireworks show.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to think about it and really, put in ideas, of things that people could use for one, and then things that people never seen before in North Omaha happen.
Yeah.
That's what we really try to do now.
Those giveaways and stuff that you're talking about, that's going to happen during the day. During the day.
During the day, you come, you download you a free ticket, you bring it to the festival, get you a raffle ticket, and then put you some tickets in to win you some prizes.
There you go.
There you go.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, a few people in the chat responding. Black Dynamite says, washer and dryer, you say?
Yeah, we're going to give a washer. We got 3 washer and dryer sets, from the furniture mart. At 1 o'clock, we're going to start giving them away. They Samsungs. They come with a 3-year warranty. If you win a washer and dryer.
Mrs. B giving some stuff away?
Nebraska Furniture Mart, they're going to come to your house that following Saturday. They just going to hook it up for you. And
wow.
And that's it.
Hey, bro. Man, that's love, man. I'll be honest, man. I ain't got no washer and dryer right now. What
happened was
kind of expensive.
After we gave the car away, a lady came up to me. She said giving the car away was nice and all, but she said, I got 5 kids, man. She said, I need a washer and dryer.
Man, hey, that's real. I got 3.
She said, I don't want to drive to the laundromat no more.
On here telling me how South Omaha kind of felt left out. So this year, that's why we did the washer and dryer. So anybody can get them, no matter what zip code you live in or anything. And
That was interesting.
It really impacts people. It serves a good purpose because we getting a better response from giving away the washers and dryers than to giving away the car. You know.
Yeah, don't nobody want to drive to the laundromat no more.
Man, do laundry at home.
Let me tell you, man. Like I said, well, first of all, let me jump into the chat real quick because Malik Rogers is talking about why not bring on all North Omaha promoters together and build collaborative fund for more events, create a Black Mecca. I kind of feel like that's what Freedom Tainment is. Your organization has expanded, and you have a more people than just you putting the show on now, right?
Oh, yeah.
And partnerships seem to be where your strong suit is when you're partnering up with people. And Nebraska, I mean, you and Celeste Butler, the only two people I know that's partnering with Nebraska Furniture Mart on anything. So you know what I'm saying? Like, tell us about your partnerships and how your organization is grown and so on.
Like for real, I mean, Google came in this year, and you know they got a workforce development program now. I'm gonna try to introduce that to people in the community. I mean, Union Pacific and Quality Clinical Research and Charles Drew, you know, they've been continuing to support since day one, but they've also increased the amount of funding that they gave me, you know.
Okay.
So we've been able to market to way more people this time. And that was one of the reasons why we do Level Up downtown too, because we want to bring diversity to the program, and so we can introduce people to North Omaha culture and arts and stuff like that. And then, I mean, it's really been working, man. We continue to market to the people that come in for College World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, you know, we get a lot of tourism money now. So, you know, we just, like I said, we trying to, you know, impact as many people inside the community, but also outside the state so they can know about North Omaha and the things that's happening in Douglas County, you know.
You put money in advertising outside the state too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your organization though. So your organization has expanded too, right? You got more people on deck and
the organization done expanded, you know, to where we got an office assistant now and we got an intern and you know, we got, like you said, more partnerships. Because without the partnerships, we really wouldn't be in business, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because we got more people that call now and ask about how they can help, and they call or email with ideas or on things that they think we should develop for people that live around here. I mean, and that's what we wanted in the first place is to get the input from the people in the community. You know, let us develop the ideas since we got the capital. Mm-hmm. You know, and then if it works, but it don't cost nobody nothing in the community. You know,
right?
And we do the work. You know, because we love doing the work. And I love doing the work. I've been telling you that ever since I met you. I don't even feel like I'm working no more. I just you know, come to the office, check emails, and then get to work.
There you go.
Making it happen.
In the chat real quick, Wanda Lewis says the concerts that I've been to usually draws people from ages 25 to 65. The young people that are in attendance tend to model the behavior of the older crowds since their presence is most dominant. So another good strategy there that you're implementing.
Well, also too, we did that on purpose because remember we target women. 70% of the people that come to our stuff are women, and then they also bring their kids or they might bring their grandparents. So we figure that if we have acts that's geared toward that, which is early 2000 hip hop and R&B, that is, you know, it's you can hit three demographics of families.
Interesting.
And I don't know nobody that's gonna act crazy in front of their parents or their grandparents. So it's like I said, it's really been working, you know.
Yeah, you got that whooping tent back there. You take it back there. Well, let me take you back there to that whooping tent. You got 30
years old. I'm still scared of her.
Right. Yeah. You say you got 30 security guards, but really you got 1,000 security guards when you count all the parents securing their own kids.
And then, like I said, we that's another thing we trying to develop is that's why we brought in the dance teams, you know, for a youth program. So we trying to develop programs for younger people now.
Okay.
And
throughout the year, then
throughout the year, that's why we doing this you know, Malcolm X, I'm gonna do the concert I just told you, that the Jacquees, the Days Loaf, and Vito, just so we could test it out to see if we could go have something for people a little younger than usually come to the concerts. You know, this concert probably be like 18 to 35.
Yeah, right. And when is that again?
That's gonna be Saturday, August 31st at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation.
Okay.
There you go.
We'll definitely put up the flyers and stuff like that in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and keep on talking about this, and we'll get with you on some stuff, man. Because now that you are really like pushing with the exposure, you got stuff going all over the states and outside the state even. Everything that you got going on is so extensive that it's almost like I said, we got to have you back on again to talk about all of it, because we can. I know that you even got more stuff happening throughout the year and on those concert dates and on the day of the Juneteenth concert and everything else that we ain't even got to yet.
Well, I want to just make sure that people understand that even though we had a concert, we really based on education, because the purpose of the festival is to connect people with resources. You know, we're not going to never detour from connecting somebody with a resource that might help an individual or organization.
There you go.
And that's why we really do it. You know, the concert is we just do the concert because people like it. You got to remember, my sponsors, they're not paying for the concert. They're paying to connect with people in the community, because they, for one, you know, they were scared. They didn't know how to connect with people in North Omaha. So this is a safe place for corporations to come to, individuals to come to that don't look like us, and learn about the culture, learn about the community. Excuse me. And basically that's what it is. You know, it's a campaign to make sure that the people that live in Omaha, North Omaha, don't get left out of no resources that's happening in the state. That's why last year we had brought in virtual reality sets. You know, we bring in technology. We got a technology zone now, you know, where we partner with Google to bring in some of those aspects.
Wow.
You know, we want to make sure that people still getting the going to the health zone to get the BMI checks, you know, getting blood typing and all the stuff that they have to offer. And all these services is free. Excuse me. Most of the things, everything that we do is going to be free except for the concert part.
Right.
There you go.
Come to anything that we doing, you can eat for free, get haircuts for free, you know, win free prizes, and just get free resources. But I just hope that people actually take advantage of the free resources, because, you know, that's why I do it. Man. I want to educate people that look just like me. I do not want to hide the game from nobody that look like me. You know,
there you go.
That's why I want people to be coming to these, when they see these empowerment meetings, when they see meetings on housing. See, if it's somebody out here that look like us that can do anything that you want to do. You just have to ask, man, and be curious about it. You know, and have a passion. But anybody that got a passion for anything, I want them to call me, because I want to connect you with anything that you want to do, because I want everybody in North Omaha to be successful.
Yeah. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can call me at the office, 531-772-0842, or you can email me at freedomtainment@gmail.com.
There you go.
I'm going to put that in the chat, Freedomtainment.
I see you got the merch on deck too. I like that. I like that hoodie right there. I like that.
Yeah, we got merch. We got everything now, man.
That's what's up, man.
You know, we sell a lot of merch. You know, the first year I did it, we ran through so much merch.
Hey, let me ask you where they can get that merch now. You got a website they can go to do.
Yeah, you can get the site,
merch and everything, right?
Yeah, you can get the merch off of any site. We got two sites, which is the Omaha Freedom Festival.com and then freedomtainment.com is the two websites we have.
Okay, I'm going to put freedomfestival.com. Cool. All right, we got that in the chat, man, so they can get a hold of you for any of these things. And we'll definitely have to have you back. We got to let you go now, but we'll definitely have you back so we can go into detail on some of these other programs and things that you got going on for sure. And let's definitely stay in touch. And I encourage everybody to go to the website, go to omahafreedomfestival.com, or you said also freedomtainment.com.
Yeah, just like I said before we leave, I just want people to come out on Juneteenth. You know, we We work all year on it, to give
That's
back to people in the community in the surrounding area. It don't cost you nothing to come to Juneteenth.
right.
Like I told people, as long as I'm managing it, it's always going to be free.
That's what's up.
There you go.
Appreciate you, brother. We'll catch up with you another time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Peace,
Yep.
peace.
Man.
Right on, man. There's a lot to unpack when it comes to him and what he's doing over there with Freedom Tainment. That's for real.
Doing some good work though. Doing some good
Doing
work.
some really good work. So shout out to Calvin Williams. Like I said, we haven't even gotten to the wins that this brother just had over the course of even just this last year. How it's progressed. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back, and we have a special guest, Anthony Rogers Wright, that's in the wings waiting, and we'll set some things up and get to talking to him about some things as well. So stay tuned. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you, stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
Don't touch nothing.
Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Jim Tim. Buddi3 Da Gawd. Thanks for everybody that's joining us. Yes, we have a special guest, Anthony Rogers Wright, in the chat that we're going to bring on in just 1 second. We want to set up the story real quick, though, because he's on to talk about some very specific things. Matter of fact, we just bring him on while we set the story up. Hold on 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat. Good morning to you, bro.
Hey, peace, brothers. How are y'all?
Peace.
All right,
man. How are you?
I'm good. Took a little respite from Babylon, aka the United States, down here in the Afro-Colombian stronghold of Santiago de Cali, with my brother and teacher, the great Ajamu Baraka. Some work down here that needs to be done, and always just a blessing to be down here. The Black organizing is so inspirational when you see how these folk operate. And taking a little break from so much madness happening back home, but and I'm sending some of the heat down here to all of y'all, the chat chimers, because I heard y'all are having a bit of a cold spell right after the plant started blooming and the trees started blooming. You get a cold spell, so I'm not rubbing it in y'all. I'm rubbing it out for y'all. I hope
all right. Thanks for that. Man, and thanks for tuning in and just tapping in with us all the way from Colombia, man. That's What time is it down there?
Oh, we're in the Central Time Zone, so
okay.
I can't claim that like I got up any earlier. It's the same time zone. Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Again, for those who aren't familiar, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright, community activist, political advisor. Again, he's working with the campaign for Dr. Cornel West, running for president. And he's done a lot of good things, man. Yeah. As you see, truth, justice, love. Big shout out to Dr. Cornel West, kind of helping us with the whole Love Supreme theme for this season. Yeah, big time. So. But to our understanding, you're not here to talk about the campaign. You're here to talk about something else, right?
Yeah. My partner might disagree with me when I say that I'm not a contrarian, necessarily. But I think that the issue of LB20 just needs to be articulated, clearly, because folk really need to know what did happen and what didn't fully happen. And this is not to throw shade on the great work of Senator Wayne and Senator McKinney, excuse me, and others on this issue, but it's really, just an admonishment so that we don't repeat what happened in Florida. My dear brother, David Ayala, who is a model Black man and a model returning citizen. I mean, this brother was incarcerated in Florida and New York, did his time, since is in the process of raising two beautiful young sisters, two of the most beautiful young girls, a beautiful family. His wife is the great Aramis Ayala, who was the first Black woman state prosecutor in Florida's history. And, she was pushing back against things like the death penalty so much that then Governor Rick Scott, I mean, he basically tried to remove her and wrote legislation and executive orders to curtail her power. But Brother Ayala, he led the nationally renowned Amendment 4 initiative, which did restore voting rights to returning citizens. And it was a beautiful thing. It was a constitutional amendment, amazing ground game, amazing grassroots organizing. But then the Florida state legislature said, hold my beer for a second. And they wrote legislation saying, sure, you can have your voting rights restored as soon as you do this, this, and that, which included paying off all of the monies associated with your incarceration and your release, which in some cases like $5,000 to $8,000. And when you come right out of the clink, $5,000 to $8,000 can be a lifetime. But what happened was, because it wasn't clear and it was, just advertised and articulated as this major victory without the fine points being broken down, 20 folk, the vast majority of them Black, one day the cops in Florida showed up to their houses to arrest them for voting when they should not have voted, unbeknownst to them. Wow. And I'm just saying that there's a lot of similarities, and I do want to use some examples. And again, I have a lot of respect for the Voting Rights Restoration Coalition, who of course, and Civic Nebraska, who of course did yesterday they released some very nice statements and whatnot. But even when where there's like the fine print, right, where it stipulates you can have your voting rights are restored immediately on July 18, 2024, as long as this, that, and the other occur, right? Mm-hmm. And that includes you've satisfied your probation, you've satisfied your parole, and then there's like, as well as other items, and then when you click on the link on their website for other items, it takes you to this obscure website that has nothing to do with the state of Nebraska. And as a matter of fact, it's like talking about like property rights and things like that. So the bottom line is that hasn't been fully reified. And it's very, very dangerous, because folk could be issued voter cards or go and say, well, your name's not on the roll, but you can do a provisional ballot, and they could be breaking the law. So this is like far from over, and I just really want to caution our lawmakers. I want to caution leaders in the Democratic Party to please tell the full story, because we don't want to get people in trouble and then put them back in this cycle of incarceration. We really need to define what all of these parameters mean so that people actually have their voting rights restored, and everything that needs to be done is actually done before they go and vote. All I'm saying is that, like, if you hit a single, and I know Buddy, you might not know about home runs as much, being an Atlanta Braves fan, but when you hit a single, you don't run around the whole bases and touch home plate. You go to first base. So I do want to say this is a very good step in the right direction, but it's not a home run. It's more like a base hit, and we got to continue building on that. Get that runner in the scoring position by doing more work and educating people, and then eventually get that runner home and get these voting rights restored outright. So I mean, I just really wanted to come on and say that, because again, not to diminish the work of Senator Wayne and Senator McKee, but really, beseeching them to please make sure that we're educating folk on everything, so that we don't break people's hearts. We don't send them, waiting in lines to go vote, only to find that that's not the case for them, or something similar happening to them later on, like what happened in Florida. I mean, you can see the videos of this one black woman is so shook. She's like, what are you doing at my house? What do you mean I'm under arrest for what? What did I do? And we really don't want that to be replicated.
I appreciate you saying that and coming on. We are in the midst of that right now. We're seeing stuff like this everywhere. Everybody that's celebrating this, thousands of Nebraska's voting rights have just been restored. People are putting celebrating this all over the country. Really is a win for Nebraska, and of course we in Nebraska are doing that too. And there's always a level of like, okay, so what, if they got some tricks up their sleeve on that, because I can't imagine everybody wants that to happen.
Right.
And then we've come across articles just recently, as a matter of fact, that brought some other things into question. Pillen just wrote a bunch of things in the law. He didn't exactly sign this one yet. So what is that? Maybe you can fill us in on that part, buddy.
So essentially, and I think that the last time this happened was like in the early 2000s. I'm forgetting who the governor was at the time, but essentially he did not have to sign it for it to become a law. So there's like a certain amount of or some certain provisions, depends on the state, where if the governor doesn't sign it into law, but doesn't veto it, it becomes law, administratively. And that's what Pillen did. He's like, I'm not signing this. I'm going to allow it to become law. But at the same time, he directed the state attorney general to look into whether this this new law has violated the Nebraska state constitution. So all to say, and this is something similar to what happened in Florida as well. There were all of these lawsuits. It went to one court. It was appealed. It went to a higher court. It was appealed, and then eventually went to the Supreme Court, who refused to hear it. But while this was all going on, people who were hanging in the balance, returning citizens, didn't know, what was happening. So Pillen is not done with this yet. And again, I mean, I just think that we have to be conscious of the fact. We know, and I know this might sound a little controversial, there are white supremacists who are sitting in the unicameral. All right, let's just be honest about that and be direct about that. They're really just going to allow majority Black, brown, and indigenous people to get their voting rights restored, just like that. I mean, I don't know. I just think you got to be skeptical of that. I'm sure like indigenous people, when Columbus first came here, weren't like, hey, it's kind of like what's going on here? And then they found out the hard way. I mean, if it's too good to be true in politics, it's probably too good to be true, especially with this unicameral, when they're not taking away reproductive justice, when they're not taking away money from our public school, they're taking away everything from us. So I just think that we have to go into this with a clear mind and ready to engage. And I'll look forward to speaking with people like Big Sherm, of course, Sherm Grande, as I call him, and capital Q Kasim, to see, and Brother Terrell, to see how the Black Agenda Alliance can maybe assist with getting the full word out, and making sure that our people are armed with the truth and armed with the wisdom and armed with the knowledge before they go into that voting booth and potentially putting themselves in that danger. But also how they can mobilize and stay informed of what's happening, because again, this is not over yet. This is like not the beginning of the end. It's just the end of the beginning.
There you go. You got me really thinking about the Republican strategy of trying to act like everybody got voter fraud going on everywhere all the time.
Yes,
and that's all we need to do is this. Now have a bunch of brothers coming out of prison that's voting, and they'll be trying to call fraud and get them arrested. Like you said, it's kind of dangerous actually, because they can actually get arrested and contribute to that narrative and make it even harder to vote. So that's my thought on that.
And I just want to say thank you to you, Brother Anthony Rogers, Wright, for keeping us on our toes, making sure that we're having the conference, because this is something that obviously needs to be talked about, and something that people need to be made aware of. But the conversation needs to happen responsibly, and we do want to get as full of the story as possible, and we don't want to get people in trouble and back in a situation. So man, big thank you to you.
Well, hold up though, but take
Go
some
ahead.
of the love for yourselves. And I bet there is no other show right now in Omaha having this conversation. And that's a testament to y'all, not to mention all the personalities that you have to navigate, mine included, which you do so well. Y'all are like part, revolutionary, part psychologists, and part like kindergarten teachers keeping us on side and whatnot. So, no, really, thanks be to y'all, because you just keep allowing for these hard-hitting conversations, and that's why your power and your audience is going to keep on growing. Because I would maybe not bet all of my money. I don't have a lot of money, but there's no one else having this conversation in Omaha right now. In all of Nebraska, I would go as far as to say. So the service that y'all are providing to the community cannot be quantified. I mean, for me to wake up and my partner who's watching, sometimes I get in trouble because she likes to go on morning walks, and on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I don't necessarily go on those walks with her because I'm like, yo, I'm listening, to the brothers.
All right, I'm glad you told me that. If I ever run into y'all,
Yeah.
if I ever run into y'all, I'll be like, I'm sorry. I appreciate
But
that.
yes,
Appreciate that love. For sure.
yes. Thank you. And that's what we're here for. I say it. Conversation rules the nation, and I really believe that. We can really come down to and big ups to Paul for pushing the concept of first sky, and having, again, we say it all the time, the first sky. The idea, the reason we named this platform that name is because we want the first sky is that level ground. Paul, maybe you can explain it. Let me know if I'm butchering it. But that first guy is that level ground. We come to that understanding, and we all kind of find a level understanding and kind of a foundation to build upon. So that's what we're here for.
Appreciate that. Jumping back into the chat real quick. Tamika Renee is saying, looking at the bill itself, what has changed in the 2-year waiting period after parole or probation? So if you serve 10 years in prison, then have 5 years on parole, you're eligible to vote after completing the 5-year parole rather than waiting an additional 2 years as it was before.
I mean, that's a beautiful explanation. I think there it is, and wow. I love how the comrade just broke it down. And that's what we need from our lawmakers, just like that,
Clearly.
But if our lawmakers aren't going to do it, thank goodness we've got good people in the community, as that was just demonstrated. The only thing that I would add to that, though, is that, it says you've completed the term of incarceration, probation, supervised release, parole, and then, as I said, have satisfied other requirements, which is not defined. I mean, again, if you go to the website getmyvoteback.org and you click on the link for other requirements, it takes you to this obscure website that called Law Finder. And I mean, we'll just do it in real time. I brought it up. Other requirements means a requirement other than a technical specification imposed on a product for the purpose of protecting consumers. What?
If you're not a law student, you don't have a law degree, or if you don't have a lawyer on hand, then you're not, if you're fresh out the clink, especially you've been there since a teenager, you're not going to understand that.
Right. And what are these? You talking about products? You're talking about like Morgan Freeman and Shawshank Redemption selling products in the clink? Like, what does this all mean? So I just think that I hope on Monday when Senator Wayne comes on that who is a law school graduate. I'm a law school dropout. Can explain this better to the folk, because I mean, big up to, I believe you said that was a comrade Tamika for breaking that down. That's really, really great. And that's not their job, but blessed be for them doing that. It would be better for us to hear that from the framers of the bill, so that the folk in the community really, really understand, and people who are maybe going to visit some of their siblings and relatives in the clink right now who may not have access to this information can also explain to them. Maybe they're about to get out, so that they understand what's waiting for them once we return them, welcome them back into our families and into our communities with open arms.
That's actually is really hitting me at this very moment, the clarity and what it is that you're saying, because I was too under the understanding that as soon as you literally walk out the facility and walk out of the bars, from behind the bars, even though you might have, like you said, some other stipulations tied to your sentencing, some, reporting that you got to do, some, halfway house, whatever, that once you
Right.
walk out of that facility, you can vote. And that's not the case. But I'm kind of curious, because the whole point of this, even though it was not signed into an official bill, it has become a law. But as you mentioned, as the Nebraska Examiner article mentions, there is the issue of constitutionality. Governor Pillen is calling for the investigation and to look into the constitutional status of this bill. But I'm kind of curious, like, isn't that isn't called? Let me gather my question. Isn't requiring inmates or formerly incarcerated individuals to pay, doesn't that equate to a poll tax?
Yo, this is such an important question. This was literally the cusp of the lawsuit that was brought about in Florida. And it eventually got to an appellate court that said, no, this does not equate to a poll tax, So, I mean, that's just the thing. Constitutionality is subjective, right?
It really is.
Seeing with multiple Supreme Courts. I mean, as we saw with the overturning of Roe v. Wade and so many other things, it depends on the composition of the court more so than the composition of the Constitution, right? It's all about how you choose to interpret it. And I don't know much about the Nebraska Supreme Court, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably not a composition of a court that is into reparations and Black liberation. I'm just going to throw that out there and take a wild stab in the dark on that. So you're talking about a governor who on the one hand wants to change the entire electoral system in Nebraska to winner takes all. And this is an election year. The people who are most likely to come out of these concentration camps, I call them, right, these prisons and so-called correctional facilities, are folk who look like us, right, and brown folk and indigenous folk. I don't think they're going to be voting for the Pillins of the world or the Bacons or anyone else, and they realize that as well. So it's a constitutional challenge, and it's also a challenge to the electoral system as well. They are not trying to tip the scale for any party, but especially their main rivals, the Democratic Party.
Well said. I appreciate that. We can kind of go from there. That's we got a understanding that we need more information here. Luckily, we have the architects of the bill, and who happens to be a lawyer that's going to be on Monday, and we'll definitely bring them on and have these conversations and questions. One more comment, Tamika Renee in the chat. It says, as an individual and organization that works with reentry, it is part of my duty to understand laws and be able to convey in plain terms to the people we serve in order for them to be well informed. And I was just
thinking about that service. Yeah, appreciate you so much. Thank you for that service. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I was just thinking about that. We're working on a documentary film right now with the 180 reentry program at Metropolitan Community College, and I got a conversation with Diane Good Collins, who's running that program, coming up. This is definitely a point of a conversation for us. Is this new thing that just passed, and the understanding, because that's going to be the front line of who tells these folks coming out what they can and can't do. Most definitely. C. Larkin in the chat says Pillin is being directed by Ricketts. Follow the money.
Follow the money.
We got such a beautifully well informed and respectful chat. We have the I know that you deal with a lot of chats and a lot of media entities. We got the best chat in the world. By far.
No doubt. Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, because you allow this, and you don't just send out tweets, right? Like I just tweeted back at MSNBC. I sometimes call them MSDNC. you know what I mean? It's basically a Democratic Party network. But they tweet things out. Right, but they don't address it in real time, right? And so they tweeted something about the beautiful students of Columbia standing in solidarity, as I am every day, with our Palestinian relatives who are being subjected to a genocide right now, but don't allow people to respond in real time. So y'all definitely, this format is absolutely beautiful. I mean, Paul B, sometimes you have to discipline us, like Daddy Paul, like, hey, I'm gonna give you one more chance. And then you're gonna go in the corner. You know what I mean?
Don't mess with Jim Tim. Jim Tim.
Some furniture moving.
Furniture
Yeah,
moving.
yeah.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it, bro. We're gonna move on from this subject because we got limited time here. But I really appreciate you, chilling in a whole other country, coming on the
Yeah,
show,
man. Yeah.
representing. Let me ask you before we go to what's top of your besides this topic. We appreciate you coming in as a person giving us info here. But your agenda, what's going on with you? Top of mind? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is important because you've had a few guests that have come on to talk about it. But as we're talking about returning citizens, right, we understand that in addition to the good work that the sister and so many others are doing to assist these sisters, brothers, and siblings coming out, we know restoring their voting rights is definitely a method to combat so-called recidivism, and so are jobs.
Right.
And I think that and I had a good talk with Senator McKinney about it at the amazing event that Willie Hamilton and our dear sister Precious McKesson. See, Precious, I'm giving you love in real time. Put on about the Inflation Reduction Act, which is not something that I really love, but I do love the money that's involved with it. This is a generational opportunity to go and get like hundreds of millions of dollars. But there's not a lot of our folk who know about it in North Omaha and East Omaha. I mean, people in West Omaha seem to know about it. They're driving their new electric vehicles, putting solar panels on their homes, and getting the rebates for them. But I really want to work with folk like Senator McKinney, of course, my partner, and people like Kimmer Snipes as well, and so many others, Eric Williams from OPPD, to make sure that people are taking advantage of this. Because when we're talking about things like solar panel installation, heat pump installation, these are jobs that you can train people to do in like a matter of months and sometimes a matter of weeks. And we have so many beautiful facilities to do this in Omaha. Metro is not some chump community college. That's a straight up campus that rivals the campuses of many other private institutions. So I would like really to increase education about the Inflation Reduction Act and the dollars that are available, because what we really need is what I like to call a parole to payroll program. And we train some of these siblings who are in the clink right now, right before they get out, so that they're certified, right away. And so I'm looking at the unions as well in Omaha. Where y'all at? You know what I mean? You want to increase your workforce and thereby increase unionization. Here's some people who are waiting to be unionized. And this Inflation Reduction Act, I'm talking literally hundreds of millions of dollars that we need to draw down into Omaha that we can use for more urban agriculture, like my partner does, more clean, renewable energy, so that we can stop using this dirty energy from that OPPD power plant that is slowly killing our children and our elders, with all of those toxic emissions, and invest in a local regenerative economy at the same time. So I'm ready to work with anybody and everybody. And look, y'all know me, I'm not a Democrat, but let's say you are interested in the success of the Democrats. This is like like Biden's signature law right now.
Right.
And it seemed to me that it would behoove you to want to educate people a lot more, so we can take advantage of that, because it really it entails so many various sectors, including the sector of making sure that our returning citizens have something to do. Our young folk, as we were just talking about, the brother you just had on, amazing work, by the way, our young folk having something to do as well. We know that youth unemployment in this nation is the highest of all so-called developing nations in the world. So Inflation Reduction Act, and make sure we have that information, because it's not just grants. You can also get direct pay. You know what I'm saying? The government, they have to get rid of this money as quickly as possible, because there's a window. And after that window closes, that money just kind of like disappears. And we don't want that to happen when we can really, we talk about jobs all the time, but we don't talk about the industries that we could bring to Omaha and bring to Nebraska. Why can't North Omaha, with a lot of vacant lots, turn those into solar panel manufacturing, parts for wind turbines, heat pump installation, et cetera, et cetera. And again, this is not a job you need to go to Creighton for and come out with massive student loan debt, right? You can get certified in a really, really, really good trade like it was back in the day. Maybe you didn't want to go to college. You could still get a good family wage sustaining job. It was unionized, that included a pension and health care, and we can do that with this Inflation Reduction Act. So that was a lot, but I'm going to be hitting on the chat about that as well. But I don't want sending links because again, I don't want to do the same thing of hitting people with so much information that it's like, you can't like do that to people. We've got to do it like the sister just did, make it really articulate and accessible for anybody, despite their educational level, to be able to get that information and put it into practice in our communities.
I would actually like to, work with you on, if you have some content, if you have, if you put together some messaging that's more concise on how, you get that messaging to us, we can spread it and, really amplify the word.
Buddy the God, like straight up though, I mean, there's money for like communications though. So, I mean, there could even be a way that first guy could benefit from it. Look,
holla. Yeah, right.
Right. But I have no problem spending white people's money if they're going to give it to us. Like, let's spend as much of it as possible because heaven knows they've gotten a lot from our labor.
Even deeper than that, it's really our money because it's mostly taxes that we're paying out. Right. We want our money back. Appreciate you every time, bro. Really do. And we will talk.
And let's do that jam session when I get back, though. Fun.
Hit me, bro. Hit me. When I saw your little studio, I was like,
Had to set up, man. Man, brother Anthony, it's always a pleasure, man. Love you, man, and safe travels.
Y'all. All right,
peace, bro. Hey, tell Brother West we said what's up. We still down here for him. Oh. I'm gonna hit you a little later about that because
cool. Yeah,
absolutely. About Brother West. Yep. All right. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Rogers Wright. Always a pleasure to talk to him.
Man, dropping some gems, man. Hopefully you learned a lot.
For real. 8:51 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we appreciate everybody that's been hanging with us this whole time. If you missed any parts of the interviews that we just had with Brother Anthony Rogers Wright or Brother Calvin Williams, you can always go back and check it out in its entirety on Facebook and YouTube. Please check out the chats when you do. Great comments. Tony Johnson, C. Larkin, Tamika Johnson, to name a few. Thank you very much for coming with your great comments and adding to the discussion. It's going down, man. We got the best chat in the world. I really appreciate them. Buddy, you ready to get into a little lightning round, or do you want to go straight to haps, or what you want to do?
Yeah, we can knock out a lightning round, kind of let the people know of a couple things that's going on, goings-ons. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and dive into it again. Big shout out to all of you that's still with us here. Just about 10 minutes left in this thing. More like maybe 15, 20. You know how we do. But, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here as quickly as possible. Again, big shout out. Some news that, we're not able to get into a lot of conversation about. But want to at least let you know about, especially looking at the session. Again, legislative session was supposed to end yesterday, but as we're seeing, there's a lot of things still going on in the legislature, and the possibility of a special session is looking like almost an inevitability coming up. Going to get that out. But this coming from the Nebraska Examiner, especially surrounding this whole tax bill. Again, we've been talking about some of the tax changes that are coming and some of the pushback that has come out as a result. Again, there's a whole campaign for the digital ads, the portion of the tax bill to be changed and challenged. And now the Nebraska Examiner is reporting that, again, Governor Jim Pillen's much amended plan to raise sales taxes and all in the effort to decrease property taxes went down in flames just yesterday. And again, the possibility of a special session is looking like that's around the corner. Again, during the governor's annual session ending speech, Pillen called the session a failure because it didn't result in 1 cent in extra property tax relief. Again, he's looking for $1 billion, and again, tax dollars to move around. And as of right now, all the proposed changes only result in about $200 million. So again, still a lot of movement going with our tax situation, and something to look out for, especially coming up. So again, we'll definitely keep our eye on that situation as far as a special session. Also reminding the people big shout out to brother Anthony Rogers, Wright, for keeping us on top of what's going on with LB20. Speaking of looking out, again, the constitutionality of that bill will be challenged and will be investigated. So we're looking for the results of that. Again, Governor Pillen, of the 103 bills that he has set to either sign, not sign, or veto, again, LB20, one of those bills that did not get his signature. So again, we'll continue to look out for that situation. Also, speaking of voting and politics and things like that, we have not really got to get into this, but I want to remind people that there are election changes that are happening to polling locations. So again, if you're not familiar or do not know where your polling location is, you are being urged to call the Douglas County Election Commission's office. That's 402-444-VOTE. Again, that's 402-444-8683. That's 402-444-VOTE. The deadline to request a ballot by mail is Friday, May 3rd by 6 p.m. And the deadline to vote early is May 13th. So again, if you're not planning on going to an election place, but you want to vote from home, again, you have until May 6th to request that ballot, and May 13th to vote and issue that ballot. And if you're planning on going into your polling place, please make sure you know where that polling place is. Again, either call in or visit the Douglas County Election Commission website. So there you go. And then, yeah, that pretty much does it for our lightning round. Again, we'll get into on Monday with the senators. Definitely want to talk to them about this voting rights bill, but also want to talk to Senator McKinney about what's going on with this OHA bill. A lot of changes and a lot of controversy still happening. Well, hopefully some changes, but still a lot of controversy happening with OHA. Again, there's an article out now talking about some of the black mold, some of the issues that tenants are dealing with. Really saying that, man, there's one comment I want to make it quick. Here it is. It says, treat others like you want to be treated, like you would not want to live in mold infested building. It's a coffin. So again, calling the towers a coffin, talking about, again, how deadly the conditions are. So again, big conversation to continue to have. We're going to roll that over on Monday when we speak to the senators and hopefully get more information about some of the changes, some of the bills coming down with public housing in Omaha. So that does it for our lightning round. Again, we appreciate everybody for joining the conversation. All the chat chimers letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard. Just a few minutes left. Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, I want to give a shout out to Malik Rogers, who's in the chat on Facebook, saying props to the Nebraska Examiner for thorough reporting and documenting names in the article about the learning community and Mike Coon's fiasco.
Yes,
we talked about that. We'll continue to have a conversation about that on Monday.
Yep.
But yes, really appreciate that article that they just dropped. That after I read through, I was like, okay, this is definitely something to talk about here. This brother is saying what he's saying, and he's feeling like the media has put a different kind of spin on it. And that's where we come in, because that's the whole reason why we started this thing, because we're tired of mainstream media spin on stuff that has to do with black people, especially in North Omaha. So we'll definitely be talking about that issue now is something that we want to put on the radar there. So I appreciate Nebraska Examiner for all their work, and we'll continue to talk about that a little later on. Tony Johnson in the chat is asking, anybody in North Omaha providing rides for voters? Not sure yet. We'll call Preston Love and see what his organization is doing with the bus and all of that. And we usually get some words around voting time about organizations and people that are giving rides. So definitely check it out. C. Larkin says, register and take Buddy with you.
Okay. Take a buddy with you.
Oh, hey, buddy. I thought she meant you. I was like, yeah. Buddy is down there helping you vote. But yeah, take somebody with you for sure. And I also believe if you ask for a early voting ballot, you have to feel that you have to do that. It's one or the other.
Yeah. Yes. You're saying if somebody requests a ballot and then tries to go into the polling place. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
So we can. I'm 90% sure about that, but I'll double check on that last 10% to make sure that's the case. Mm-hmm. But if you ask for an early voting ballot, you try to vote early. Say you don't get around to it by that date, and then you decide you're going to walk in, you might have a problem. So we'll have to see. We'll see about that. So.
Yeah, and also just want to remind people, remember that the polling workers can't really give you too much information about your ballot. So again, please make sure you're going to the election commission website. You're calling up to your election commission office. If you have any questions, please make sure you're doing your own research. Again, shout out to Sister Tamika Johnson in the chat saying she learned so much from today's guest and today's show. And we try to either provide guests or provide information ourselves that you can use. But please always do your own research. Do your own research. Look it up. Make sure you're as informed as possible when going to vote. Because you see, they're looking for fraud. They're looking for excuses to get people in trouble for voting. So again, let's make sure we're doing it right.
Man, you left out the best part. That thank you in my buddy voice. With 1 minute left, let's get into the haps, y'all.
Yes.
What's happening? What's going down?
It is the weekend. There's a few things that we can talk about that's happening. If you have any haps, please let us know. Put it in the chat. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I'm going to try something real quick and scroll all the way back up to the beginning of the show because Paul Philman is saying, please encourage people who are able to attend press conferences at 12:30 today at Underwood Tower, 49th and Underwood Street. Tenants will be talking to the media and community members about the dangerous, unhealthy living conditions in their buildings. They need as many community members, leaders to attend and show their support. So shout out to Paul Philman, who's been doing the good work, putting boots to the roots and staying out there, staying on the neck and making sure that there's some awareness here. And now here's an opportunity. Finally got some tenants that are coming out and speaking up.
Man.
And remember, we reported on these things before. They weren't speaking up before using their names out of fear of retaliation. They're speaking up now because they feel like they got some back. So let's have their back and be out there at 12:30 if we can. Again, that's 12:30 at the Underwood Tower. It was 49th and Underwood Streets. If you can make it, appreciate that.
Man, they said it's like a coffin.
She said, "Come early." That's what's up. So yeah, appreciate everybody doing that. And also just a few more things that are coming up here if I can grab them. First of all, I want to give a shout out to our guest Calvin Williams, who's a president of Freedomtainment. He's got a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, we only have one of the many flyers and things that are going on at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. This is happening June 15th. Mark your calendars, get your tickets. Joe is going to be headlining, and then there's special guest Case, and then Anjali and Timeless, a band here that we adore. That usually, most of the times they open up, they kind of outshine the
Man, they shut it down, man.
Hey, Joe better come with it because Anjali and Timeless on the case, bro.
Get Omaha'd.
You don't want to get Omaha. That's right. Yeah, you people come and watch Anjali and Timeless and just go home after that. I don't need to see.
I seen the show. I'm ready to go.
Hey, that's real. That's real. So yeah, get your tickets for that, and we'll put more Freedomtainment stuff up and out there because he's got a lot more things for the families and for the kids. This is just the concert at the end of the night that we're talking about here. So shout out to the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation for sponsoring and for having this on the grounds. Good opportunity to see that. Really appreciate that. Tamika Renee said, for your information, the Black and Brown meetup event was successful. I was sorry I missed that last night. She said turnout was a little over 100. More to come.
Beautiful.
Very glad to hear that. Yes.
Yeah.
The Black and Brown meetup. We definitely were all about that. This was the flyer for it. So if you made it, appreciate you letting us know. But look at all the organizations that are part of this. So this is really kind of growing already. Like it's getting busy. So shout out to everybody who went. Shout out to everybody who shot video and showed us what was going on. And I love that there's going to be more of those for sure. Katie Rain got some stuff going on over here at 10 Forward. Beats and Boutiques is coming up on April 28th from noon to 8. There's a call out for models for this as well. So if you know who Katie Rain is, hit her up on Facebook or Instagram and let her know if you're a model and you want to be a part of this. But this is a kind of good amalgamation of what's going on.
Yeah.
Katie Rain representing her business and the things that's going on in North Omaha and teaming up with 10 Forward, which is a new club on 72nd and Maple. That is kind of the new kind of House Saloon style club. Really, it's kind of some of the owners and people that are involved in this one were involved in the House Saloon back in the day. So there's definitely a vibe. There's definitely something going on over here at 10 Forward. It's a pretty cool spot, and I'm glad to see Katie Rain teaming up with them on this. Beats and Boutiques. OmahaNightlife.com is where you can get some information on that. So definitely check it out. and that's coming up as well on the 28th. So these are some of these things are coming up next week. But we definitely want to give them some love there. Thanks for staying with us a little bit longer. Also, Skate Fest coming up, a free event on April 28th as well from 12 to 6.
Hey,
Yeah, man. Seymour Smith, 6802 Harrison Street in Omaha. Shout out to the cats at Skate Fest. I think they are doing some good work and getting down in a big way in Omaha for kids that are into this alternative lifestyle,
man,
skating.
man, that's,
Which,
taking
Mhm.
me back, man. I was all
Hold on,
about it.
bro, come on, man. So this is, I'm proud to see this. I'm proud to see that they we got some representation here for, they always say it. Black people are not a monolith. Some of us
Yeah,
like different things, and they're doing some great things with this. And this is a free event too as well. So something to send your kids to or take your kids out to. Live music, live art, food trucks, vendors, all kinds of stuff will be going on out there. Also
man.
also contests, street section best trick, prizes, all kinds of things happening right here. The Seymour Smith Skate Fest is going down on April 28th at 6802 Harrison Street. So shout out to them for that. Just
Man,
ran.
Iggy Kid say he'll be DJing Skate Fest.
Yo,
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah.
up.
Pull up, man. The squad will be out there, man. Pull up, man.
That's what's up. I love it. I love it. Also, I'm seeing here a couple more things. The birthday celebration is coming as well in May. You can put this on your
Celebration.
calendar. It's a celebration. Malcolm X Memorial Foundation is doing Malcolm X birthday celebration on May 19th. There's a Sunday dinner, May 22 Hall of Fame induction. You know that he's
Hey,
Hall of Fame induction is going down. So shout out to them. More information, go to malcolmxfoundation.org and get some more information there. Shout out to Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. They was always in their plan to do more of the birthday celebration stuff. So this is chiming up, as you can see, and
man.
we're here for it. So
Beautiful.
that's what's up.
Beautiful.
Appreciate that very much. Also, this is Tim Clark's event that's coming up. Let's see, live at the Benson Theater, April 24th. So this is coming up in a few days. In the Pocket with Tim Clark, Jazz Appreciation Month celebration. He's going to have some special guests coming, some live music, and he's going to bring that Lou Rawls voice you'll never find. Yeah, man, he gets down. He's a great entertainer, great singer, and he always brings like the top notch musicians and stuff around
Man,
as well. Everything that he's done at the Benson Theater is sold out and has been super successful. So definitely check this out if you want a night of being in the pocket with Tim Clark. Appreciate that. Shout out to Benson
yeah.
Theater for that. You can go to bensontheater.org and get your tickets. And yeah, man, definitely check that out. It's gonna be a
Man,
good one.
kind of want to take the time to say, rest in peace to Calvin Keys, man. This is a jazz month of celebration. This is appreciation, type event. So, hopefully we'll have high spirits and have Brother Keys in mind when we come together one time to jam.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah,
Keep it
yeah,
in the
man.
pocket. Keep it in the
Yeah.
pocket.
Keep
Appreciate
it in the
that very much.
pocket.
Speaking of keeping it in the pocket, Big Wade in the Black Swan Theory. Put this on your calendar
Hey,
as well, bro. May 2nd is going down. Even got J Boy Robinson out there opening as well. So and DJ Reggie C is going down, man. The Black Swan Theory, if you have not seen them play live, then you're missing something
man,
incredible.
man.
Incredible. So get down with the soul sessions. It's happening at Benson Theater as well. Mark your calendars May 2nd. Again, you can go to bensontheater.org and get some information and tickets on that. Definitely check out Big Wade in that situation with the state of the art lights and sounds that Benson Theater got.
Man,
I can't wait to see these brothers on stage. And this happens to be a venue you can move the seats back, bro, and have a dance, have a party in the pit. So
all right.
we're gonna be getting our boogie on out there for real with these brothers.
Man, bring back the dance floors, man. These lounges looking like IKEA with all the couches and booths, and bring back the dance floors, man. Cut some rugs.
Cut a little rug. That's
Yeah,
what's
man.
up. Shout out to Big Wave Black Swan Theory for real, for real. This is also something coming up. This is in May as well. They've been working on this for a while. Disability plays. So the Theater for All, the Disability Plays, an evening of stage readings, celebrations, authentic casting, and equitable representation. The written, directed, acted, and performed and everything by people with other abilities. This is going to be a heavy show. May 18th. Mark that on your calendar. 18th and 19th. It's probably going to sell out. Get your tickets. They've been working on this for quite a number of months, probably about a year and a half now. Putting this thing together, and it's going to be very successful. So shout out to Benson Theater for putting that down. We'll talk more about that as it comes up. Also, thanks for hanging with us. Also, one more, DJ Kethro, friend of the show,
Ooh.
friend of First Sky Omaha. He's got an event coming up at 10 Forward called Ampere on April 20th. I'm so going to this. Okay, Cutthroat, Tita, Reese Bones. You talking about you trying to see some professional, some real electronic music, real equipment hooked up for electronic music. Hearing the analog, I mean, it's going to be incredible. I really
Man,
feel like it's going to be incredible. If you have any inclination towards dance music or electronic music, definitely check this out. This is some authentic stuff here. It's ain't just a couple people on some turntables. They're going to have some real equipment out there to show you how electronic music was really built. So
man,
shout out to
amen.
them. April 20th, man, 9 o'clock, 10 forward. This is definitely something I want to promote. Kethro has been a friend of First Sky Omaha for a while, so I appreciate that.
Big time.
Black Dynamite said, I heard in the wind that the Jewel was making a return.
Yeah,
Yep. We heard about
caught
it.
a breeze.
Caught a little breeze. Yeah. For those of you who know, the Jewel shut down, and we heard that the hotel bought it, and they're going to license back out to McKenna. That's a rumor. I have no. I didn't fact check that at all. It's just what I heard in the
Mhm.
breeze. So we'll see. We got other stuff going on. Still not a black club. But we need a black club. That's all there is to it.
That part. Brother Anthony Rogers is right. He says that's what's up. Jazz is our music, and we have to keep it alive. There you go.
So true.
There you go.
I'm gonna go ahead and get up and get ready to get out of here. A couple more haps.
Finesse.
Yeah, man, come on. We can't forget about 95.7 The Boss. This is also happening in May 11th. May's gonna be on us before you know it. So go on the market
Man,
calendar and go get your tickets to this on etix.com. Finesse 2 times live in concert in Omaha. Because it's cool when they do it. So yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on. They got the Boss DJs out there as well.
man.
This is at the Admiral, which is 2224 South 13th Street. Used to be the Sokol Auditorium. So if you haven't been to the Admiral yet to see how they've upgraded that situation, go check it out.
Man.
It's be a good thing to go see. So shout out to 95.7 The Boss, William King, bringing out the heavy hitters. There's a lot of big shows go on, man, that's generated out of North Omaha that people don't really know about all the time. So
Yeah.
that's what's up. Yep. 9/11 right now. I appreciate you guys hanging with us way past the time we were supposed to shut it down, but we can't get out of here without mentioning that Kamasi Washington will be in town on May the
Hey,
12th at the Slowdown. Shout out to the Slowdown
man.
for being bold enough to bring this brother out and done it twice. This is the second time he's been out to the Slowdown. Any venue out here that's bringing out Kamasi Washington, cats like that it's a kind of a up in the air whether or not they're gonna sell this show out, and they do the work to make sure that it happens. I got to give props. So props to Slowdown, and definitely get your tickets for Kamasi. It's going down,
Man.
all the way down.
Yeah, Black Classical.
Black
Yeah. Please go check out some Kamasi, man. Just do
Yep.
yourself the favor.
And before we get out of here, there's going to be some things coming up again on some updates on the search for Levi Blake. This is still
Yes.
going on. Hashtag Where is Mr. Blake? If you got any information, please hit him up at 402-444-4123. Or I would suggest to hit Sherman Wells up personally if you know him. If you're a fan of this show and been on it, then you know who Sherman Wells is. Hit him up because he's been doing a lot to try to put those things together. We're supposed to hear from a family member here pretty soon as well. They posted that on Friends of First Sky Omaha. So there's something coming up. Go to Friends of First Sky Omaha, check it out. We'll hear from the family and see what the progression of this, the search for Brother Blake is and what's happening there. And continue to keep your eyes peeled as we're out and about. And we appreciate your letting us do that.
Yeah, and just if you can, just prayers for the family, man. Prayers for the family. There was also a recent passing of another relative,
Man.
in their family. So it's just been rough for them. Definitely prayers to that family.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man.
Before we get out of here, just want to give a shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee, a sponsor of this show and of our TikTok news shows and the things that we're doing over there. We're trying to have a little fun over there on TikTok. We're changing some things up. We were doing straight news 3 days a week. Now we're kind of playing around with it as well, just to see what you guys are entertained by over there on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, look us up, First Sky Omaha, the TikTok page. But mostly we're on Facebook and YouTube. And so please like and subscribe over there as well. And we got a little commercial, little thing coming for Drunk Ship over on YouTube to be keeping your eyes peeled on as well. But shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee for sponsoring us. Get your coffee. You can order from them at drunkshipcoffee.com. and go ahead and order your beans. These are whole beans that are being sourced from one farm in Ethiopia. So get ready to get your grinder together, man. It's kind of ready to kind of up your palate on that.
Man.
This ain't no Folgers. They be getting down.
But it's in your cup, so check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee. Really appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that's been seeing this and reaching out to me recently, saying, "Hey, we want to help sponsor and do some things with our stuff too." We'll be getting back to you on all of that.
Yes.
We're ramping up our advertising as a source of income for us to continue this, along with your donations. And shout out to everybody who has gone to firstguyomaha.com, hit the donate button, and become reoccurring members and sponsors of this channel, so we can keep this thing going. Also, write us in your grant. There's a lot of things that we can do here in order to keep the news and the conversation flowing. And if you guys are all down, we're down with you. So we really appreciate all your help. And I continue. Yes, thank you. Augie Kid said, "Fun fact: Slowdown is yet another venue owned by 1%. If you know, you know." Nope, you're wrong about that, bro. 1% is not Slowdown is not a 1% venue. They're the rival of 1% venues, and that is a thing. That's a thing. I gotta say,
if you know, you know.
right. So again, I think organizations have every opportunity to bring out folks like Terrace, Kamasi, so on and so forth. Only some are doing it. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. It is what it is. We'll appreciate that very, very, very much. Your input on all these things and more conversation of that. I almost feel like we need to have a whole show sometime just talking about like the scene out here, like art and music.
Sometimes there are some things that are currently happening in the scenes of art, music, theater, that we're not really getting into, but at some point, might have to talk about it.
Might have to. We're going to get out of here. We are really late today. Sorry about that. And thanks for, man. Huh? You did say it. You just had too many haps today, man. It's a Friday. Hey. We want to make sure that we have an extensive haps.
Right, and two guests.
If you have any other haps, let us know. Put them in Friends of First Guy Omaha. We would love to check them out and see if it's something that we can kind of spread the word about and get some heads there. Always, it doesn't have to be fun stuff. It can be political stuff. It can be stuff like what Paul Philman is asking us to do right now is to show up at 12:30 at Underwood Towers and show some support. But it also can be fun stuff and concerts and things to do with the kids and so on and so forth. Put any haps that you have in Friends of First Guy Omaha, and we'll check it.
There you go.
With that said, buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah, man. Big shout out again to our guests today. A lot of good information, a lot of good work being done. So again, big shout out to Brother Calvin Williams and Anthony Rogers Wright for taking the time out of their busy schedules to come and speak with us and drop some gems and some information on us. Again, make sure you check out, what it is that they have going on. Again, Brother Calvin Williams at Freedomtainment or freedomtainment.com. And then again, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright with all the work that he's doing, especially again with the Dr. Cornel West campaign. So make sure you check them out as well. And if anything, hopefully you learned something today. Please again do your own research and tell a friend, man. Come check us out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo,
take us out of here, man.
Man, latest we ever been. Pop says, love you all and have a good weekend. Appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate everybody that kind of came through and sat here with us. They're always telling us go 3 hours, and I'm like, nah. But then it's already 9. It's already 2:20, so it's creeping on up.
Yeah.
But we got to try to shut it down. Do what we can do. Get on with the rest of the day. But appreciate everybody who has joined us and stuck with us this whole show. If you miss any parts of the show, please go back and check it out on First Guy Omaha, the YouTube page, and First Guy Omaha, the Facebook page as well. And read all the comments when you do. Lots of great comments. Thank you so much for all your comments. I can't thank you enough. That's what's up. We're gonna give. What's all you talking about? They were listed on the site.
I'm talking about 1%. We'll get back into that.
Yeah. We'll look at that again. They didn't used to be. If they are now, something changed. That's gonna be telling.
Also, C. Larkin talk about post-dated checks as long as they don't bounce.
What you know about post-dated checks?
As long as they don't bounce.
That's Jim Tim specialty. Right? Post-dated check every day.
It's time to get out of here, man. It's time.
Shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you.
Yeah, man.
We can't do this show without you. You're the best chat in the world.
in the world.
On Earth with an F. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We'll see you Monday when we talk to Brother Senators Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney to wrap up the whole legislative session. We'll check back in with Sherman Wells and I believe Brother Kasim as well, Men's Monday. So, stick around for that. And like I said, anything popping off over the weekend that is that's noteworthy, put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We'll check it out. And we can't wait to speak with you again. What's up?
No, Miss Erica Felt kind of coming out with us.
She was in. Well, she popped in. She said she was popping in and out today. She said earlier.
Okay. Well, I always appreciate her kind of send off. So kind of reminding people, man, drink some water, be good to yourselves. Yeah.
He's
catch us on Monday.
Where's my drink water send off?
Yeah. Hey, you got purify your body. You got to keep it clean with water.
Yeah, and you know what I'm on right now too is purifying your mind. You got to
there you go. Increase
your cognitive load so that you can have clear thought and energy. Your cognitive load. You thinking about stuff too much, then it's going to wear on you like physical wears on you, and that's all. So I'm learning that and trying to rearrange my thoughts and figure out where my limits are on how much I can take in a day, and what that stops and what that starts for me. And so I encourage everybody to do the same.
Man, leave the place a little better than it was, when you came. So keep that in mind.
Jim Tim signing off.
Until next time, y'all. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the Red